Okay, we are live back with MME International with the Ramblin' Man and Anthony. And Ramblin', you're looking pretty dapper today with your nice sweater and your hat on there. Looking
Thanks
good,
very
man.
much. Right, yeah.
Thank you.
Bit-
So,
I've been out, had lunch today.
Oh, that's good. That's good. We got some topics. See what's trending in your area with entertainment news. What you're talking about. Man, there's not even anything to say about the Mika, which is kind of depressing. There's nothing to say. It's like okay.
Well, you might have a few people coming into the chat later on that'll have some questions. You never know.
Okay, sure. I had a main topic because I really liked. Hey, I've been rewatching the XMen movies.
Oh, nice. Which one are you watching?
I watched Apocalypse,
Ooh.
and I love it.
Really?
Yes. I rewatched it, and I was like, wow, this is a lot better than I thought it was, years ago. And I enjoyed it. Now, listen, there's no defending Bryan Singer. I'm not defending Bryan Singer, but I do think that he made some good films.
Yeah.
And
no doubt about
the reason it came about was my good friend RJ was talking about Moon Knight, and I've been really kind of disappointed by Moon Knight.
Have you?
It's just okay. And I was like, you know what? I think I'd rather watch Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse over Moon Knight again. And then I did, and then I watched it, and he's like, "Oh, you're full of it." And then I watched it the next day at work because I could watch it in the background.
Can I say, I think Oscar Isaac, though, he's done so well. Like, I mean, depending on people's issue, opinions of Moon Knight, he's so amazing acting off himself. Because with the inner monologue of either Mark or Steven, he's so good at the moment. Like, I don't know. I think he can do anything, really.
Hey, and if you're just getting in here, remember to like the video for MME International to keep this a thing. It really helps. Hunter says, I have a question. What is your thoughts of Warner Brothers Discovery trying to sell their video game studios to other video game? I didn't know they were. Did you know that?
They got announced yesterday. And the studio that is behind like games, you got the some of the Arkham games. Like, this is an offshoot. And like Zaslav has come in, and obviously he's going through every department under the main company name, and I think this is something that could either go good or bad, because studios that make the games, if they have a different oversight, they're not having to report to the studio itself. They can go to like depends on who acquires it, because I don't think they'll shut down the whole company. I think it'll be taken over by an existing company, and so I think it could either be a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, I thought they were trying to integrate everything together: movies, comics, film.
Yeah, under one banner.
I thought that was the whole synergy behind the whole thing, but who knows? Can I just say hello to Bob? He's suffering with a giant hangover this morning after a 4 a.m. stream in the UK where he was sinking a bottle of vodka. So, which is now privatized, so I'll never get to see it. So
doesn't that stink when that happens?
Send me a link, Bob, please.
Yes, he needs a link, please. There is actually. Oh, go ahead, Anthony.
Go on.
There is actually some breaking news that my friend posted. I just don't know if that we're going to get flagged if I show it, but I kind of want to get your reaction to it, because what's your thoughts on Avatar?
Oh, I thought the trailer looked amazing to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
You saw the new trailer?
Yeah.
I didn't see the new trailer.
It's about a minute and a half long. If that's the trailer you've got, is that the one?
No, I wasn't going to show this. I didn't know I could see that. I'm waiting to see it before Doctor Strange.
I've seen still shots of what's going to be in the trailer, and
is that a troll? Oh yeah,
based on the water Like, I think that this being like such a delayed film, but like it was delayed for the right reasons, because James Cameron's putting everything into this film and hopefully wanting it to be the success that they predict it's going to be. They think it's going to be like break more records than the original, and Disney's even re-releasing the original, like the first one, and so they really believe in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I might have seen a fan made video.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was. Show us, or I'll send you a link if you've got it.
No,
show it.
I couldn't find the actual link anywhere. But these are just some images that's one of my friends posted on his Eddie. So I thought, and they have a watermark on it, like John Campea, but I could show them real quick. And then if this gets claimed, this part, I'll just edit it out of the video later.
It must have been a fan. It must have been a fan made thing I saw then.
Okay. Because it's supposed to now CinemaCon, that event, they did show it to the attendees there, and they said everyone else could see it right before Doctor Strange comes out next week.
Okay. Is that our friend?
Oh, did you, Degrassi? What the hell is
Bob gets so many trolls wherever he goes.
I block him or I'll time him out. I don't know what the hell to do with these people.
Bob, I don't know what you do to these people. Yeah, they absolutely wherever he goes.
Well, the trolls are helping the views. There's 14 people watching. Some of the trolls.
I think I was on a stream with him a couple of weeks ago, and I think we had more trolls in the room than we did anything else.
Yeah,
but it was the best stream we've ever had.
There's a lot of trolls watching. Can you like the video or thumbs it down if you want? That helps too.
Anything will do.
Hello to Mary in the chat. Hello to in the chat that is here. Some of the shots in like what I've seen, it looks epic. Like, you know.
Well, here, I'm not gonna share the whole image just in case. And it's not on the thumbnail, so I think we'll be okay. But here's a look. I think that's a pregnant Na'vi. Did you see this, Rainbow Man? On that trailer you saw?
I don't think that possibly. I only watched it once.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
There's Sully, Jake Sully.
Yeah,
that's a great shot there. Look at the motion.
I think that's a battle shot. That's while they're in battle.
And then this. We'll see. I mean, let's
just face it. He's delayed it this long because he wanted to get the technology right for the underwater stuff, and his underwater stuff so far has been way better than anything else you've ever seen on screen. So with the Abyss and things like that. So why would you not want to go and see it? I love the Abyss, and if it's anything like that, then great. So
and he's created the technology as well.
Callie.
Hi, Callie.
Holy crap, man!
She's just saying hello, Max. Hello, Callie.
I need mod help with all these trolls. What the hell, Bombery? Woo! Mary, are you there? I have one mod today. Mary, I'm sorry. Oh, Keely. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Mary, the Abyss director's cut is amazing.
We're up to 24 viewers because of trolls.
Come on.
Hey, you're helping the channel at least.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what did you guys think of those images there?
Honestly, I don't understand what the negativity is around it. I mean, it's been a long time, and they probably have missed a good window of opportunity, but. If it's going to make that film even more amazing, and then they're just going to come. Are they coming every year after this one? I believe they're coming every year for 18 months.
Yeah, you did this one and the one after it back to back.
I'm going to put you in the basement, Callie.
And then they're talking about like a fourth and a fifth one. Yeah. And so like this is going to be like hopefully if it goes to plan like he wants. It'll be each year. But I think people like to hate on James.
No. Now we got it. Oh my goodness. Hold on a second. Don't even highlight that.
It's the same guy who does it in every Bob channel. So
how do I?
And we've told him about 1 million times that is Dave's old license plate. Anyway,
that's
confirmed.
Well,
confirmed.
It won't let me block for good.
25 people watching because of these.
Yeah, it's only actually 22, 2 and 22 trolls.
Yeah,
I can't. It won't let me block for good.
You're the only mod on here.
Mary. Yeah.
Is Mary a mod?
She's got her work cut out for her. Hello to Marcus. And hello to Days Gaming.
I'm sorry, Mary. Mary, you deserve an award for dealing with all this. Thank you so much, Mary.
Mary is the OG.
Are you able to, Anthony? Are you able to mod too? If I make you a mod?
Yeah, definitely.
So just type something in the chat.
He won't ask me because he won't ask me because he knows I'm a boomer.
I honestly rambled. Yes, you're right. You're right. So if you type something in the you have to type something in the chat. I'll make you a mod, Anthony.
Yeah.
Here you go. Because this is getting ridiculous. I can't even focus on the topics.
Holy. He gets. I think it's the same person, and he goes. Here we go. He's got another one now.
What is wrong with you?
He's not even funny. You know. I mean, there's some trolls that come that are funny, but he really isn't funny. He's got to up his game. He just does it to disrupt. You should, if you've got a mod working on him, I would just.
All right. Let's focus on. Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious.
That's all he wants to do is disrupt. And if you let him disrupt, then he's won. I say he, could be a she, couldn't it? But
hold on a second. I got to put Callie in the basement. Callie,
not again.
The troll.
I have multiple windows open to do it.
Callie, come here.
Well, I can't believe Callie's in the basement for the second show running. Poor old Callie.
You got to give it to Callie. She loves supporting Max.
Well, exactly. Between her and the trolls, we're having a good time this week.
That's right. Good. Makes things interesting.
I can't even remember what we were talking about now before Matey Boy joined. Avatar 2, weren't we? Yeah, I must have seen I must have seen some fan made thing then because it was pretty professional what I saw, but you have to be so careful because I've done that so many times and gone, wow, that looks great. Really.
Yeah, and then
it's half of another film, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, what gets a lot of clickbait is the concept trailers, and they're fan made, and so a lot of them get chucked onto the net. Yeah. Oh, hold on, you got a critic.
Yeah. He's another one of my big. He's a fan of me this time, and we're getting them all today. He says I've blocked him, right? Blitzkrieg. He's a pro Amico guy. Blitzkrieg.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's not a fan, Max. He says I'm a hypocrite. I should be ashamed of myself.
Oh my goodness.
Hang on, let me just deal with him though. I'm not a hypocrite because you said you were blocked on my channel. I've actually subscribed to your YouTube channel, so you can't be blocked, can you? I've subscribed to you, Blitzkrieg, so you can come in and say anything you want on my videos. And I banned Avolp 7 months ago. Made a video of me publicly banning Avolp 7 months ago, way before all these people jumped on, like Canadian Gamer, whoever wanted to jump on to say you should ban this guy. Max has maybe even seen the video that I did because he watched some of my videos.
I remember that.
I banned him.
Yeah.
So why should I be ashamed of myself? I banned him way before. Again, ask Saggy. Saggy knows. I banned him 7 months ago, mate. So it's an argument.
You know what?
That you're gonna lose.
Let's have some fun. But all you people are all critical. There's so much to enjoy out there. Exactly. Don't waste your time on stupid stuff, please.
I mean, Max,
I hope you all have a great day.
He says that I won't engage with pro Amico supporters about discussing Amico.
No, he tries to save me. He's like, I got.
I talk to you. I talked to Saggy. I talked to Panda. I talked to Nick Geek with Cash. In what way am I a hypocrite and a terrible person? There you go. Anyway, let's forget about him. Don't ban him because he gets very sensitive.
I'm really disappointed because all these trolls and we still got 100% like. They didn't even dislike nothing.
Really?
You're not even.
I haven't even liked it yet, Max. So I'll probably better do.
Oh, see, you're part of the problem. you know, I have so many people on the panel, and I'm like, did you like the video? And they're like, oh.
No, I have. I have done. Okay. I'm lying. I have done.
I like my own videos. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, so do I.
Got to support the channel.
Yeah.
I think
so. Anyway, let's get back to. Let's not talk about the drama because I think that's gonna, okay. We'll talk about it if it comes up. But
yeah.
Well,
back to that topic. Yeah, back to the main topic.
We might react to one of the cringiest dudes on the internet, and I knew him when he first started his YouTube channel, and he was a nice fella. And then he went down the anti-SJW, everything's woke, everything's garbage route. And now he's concerned about this new.
Is this your friend Ryan?
Ryan Kennel.
Yeah.
Okay. He ignores me now. He won't talk. He won't debate.
There's a lot of. I'm not political, and obviously I'm an Aussie, so I don't get into the whole US politics and whatever. But there's a lot of what I'm perceiving conservative opinions that this is going to be a complete dead on arrival topic with XMen, the animated series. And as you said earlier, I think XMen's always been one of those shows where the characters are all dealing with their own problems. They're all like dealing with problems that can be related to in real life. So, like, they're either gonna find their strength in going with what they did originally, and if they're trying to do characters who are either dealing with their sexuality, dealing with the fact that they've got powers, that they're isolated, depression, like maybe the topic of mental illness. I mean, all these different things will be brought up in this new series.
But weren't they brought up in the original series anyway? I can remember topics like that always being discussed in comic books.
Well, especially XMen.
Especially XMen.
They were outcasts from society.
Yeah, exactly.
They were different,
and they've always had strong female characters. And they've always had characters that
actually. So. Let's get to the video, but honestly, let's ask a question real quick. Should they still be called the X-Men?
I think so, because they fall under one banner. I mean, it's if you start canceling everything or changing the name of everything, I think that you're missing the point of why it was called that originally. Like, when it says X-Men, it's not saying, hey, this is for men only. X-Men falls into all-encompassing, like they're part of a team. The team is called the X-Men, so it's not like it's all against feminism. It's not like to be like we're coming out and like it's anti-feminism or anything like that. It's literally, that's the team. That's how the team was established, And I think people just like to hate on things, Yeah.
I haven't got an opinion on that one. I know. Honestly, if you've got somebody looking after it, honestly, Max, you'll get distracted completely.
One of our friends in the chat, Thade, he just wrote, hoping that this show works out. One of the first gay comic book characters was a mutant named Northstar. So, and as Mary said as well, the X-Men have always been like one of those shows that, they've kind of shown that characters have real world problems. And so, like, I like it. I'm looking forward to it. I always liked the animated series.
Did you have any... Bramble Man, what do you think about even the title, the X-Men? And do you have an affinity towards the old series? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I've been Yeah, well, since kind of the midnight, I actually think that was the cartoon series that got me really involved with X-Men, because I remember some of the early stories weren't too good, weren't great, to be fair, when I read the comics. And again, it's like the Batman.
Hey, Thade,
Batman.
if that's you could send me a DM on Twitter and I'll send you a link. Thade's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
But so I haven't got an opinion either way. But yeah, I remember the cartoon series really well. It was like, the Batman animated series. It was just a great TV show, whether it was animated or not. But like you were saying. But I mean, again, I'm I'm old and whatever. But weren't there sort of some kind of relationships between men, women, and men? Sharing partners and all sorts of things going on with the X-Men. This is years ago.
Yeah.
And somebody said Marvel's always leaned to the left. Well, I've got news for you. Hollywood leans to the left. Most of the arts, music world leans to the left. Some of the people that you really like, that you listen to or watch, they may well be gay, and they may well be, left leaning or what have you. It's not Marvel that's left leaning. It's just the arts in general, I think, is left leaning. But why would we want to cancel anybody over their political views unless they overtly come into, play? But they're not going to come into play anymore, I wouldn't have thought, now than they did with the original series, because the original series dealt with many of these topics.
Mm-hmm. And when the animated series came out too, that was around the realm of like the original animated series of Spider-Man as well. And they did crossovers, and I used to love it. I used to love catching it before I had to go to school in the mornings. And I always look forward to the replays, especially when there was crossovers. And I love the animation style as well. So, but as I said, a lot of people love to hate on things. I think this is cool because it touches on nostalgia, but also, I think it's full of opportunity. Again, there's a lot of people who are just gonna hate on it, but
it is a delicate balance. We've seen it all. Well, we've seen it for a number of years now, right? This whole nostalgia bug. Even if you're talking about games, retro games or retro game systems that we won't mention, lots of fandoms get hit in the feels by nostalgia, don't they? Okay, So it is, and I do agree that I don't agree, but I can see the argument. Why are they pinning it to that particular series? Can they not make a new spin-off or do something slightly different from it? But they're putting all their eggs into that basket. So I kind of get that, because there's people with emotional feels either way. But when they actually go back and look at what they were watching, the art of that and good comic and sci-fi, etc., is to introduce things like that in a subliminal way that when you were a kid, you may not have even thought about it. And then when you actually grow as a person and get a bit older and you reflect back on it and you think, well, do you know what? Actually, yeah, right. Okay. I get that now. It was just an action, animated series to you then, but that's what makes great sci-fi. That's what's always made good superheroes, sci-fi, whatever you mean. It goes in, and it's whether you spend the time thinking about it or not to actually get it. And it is real world problems. And the world has massively changed since '97. So is that woke or no? It's not.
Well, our friend Anthony here, a great name, and said, and all that matters is quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I couldn't agree more, because it's the writing, it's the stories, but it's also, again, about people with their differences coming together for a common goal. And whether you got the different storylines of how, Wolverine had an affinity and love for Jean Grey and his rivalry with Cyclops, but behind that rivalry, still there was a loyalty to him. And they came together to form the team despite their differences.
I think it was because of their differences, wasn't it? Not despite their differences, because of their differences.
There you go. Yeah. With their differences, they still formed a great team.
Yeah, and what makes and diversity is what makes that team great. So why is that woke? That was woke when they first came up with the idea.
Well, here we'll do a little dissecting of, and this is the popular opinion on the internet, guys. This is the popular opinion from dudes on the internet that are into geek culture. Disney is ready to destroy. He always uses destroy.
Yeah.
The X-Men.
Big tagline.
X-Men 97 writer confirms focus on modern woke. So let's give this a shot. Let's try to see if he has any points whatsoever. Our take on his arguments. He's big mad about it though. All right.
When Disney and Marvel announced that X-Men 97,
I was looking for your just tweet at me and I'll get a notification and I'll follow you and then I'll send you Fade, because we would like some company if you have a lot to say about the X-Men. So tweet at me on Twitter and then I'll follow you and then I'll send you a link, because I was trying to find you in the other DM groups and I couldn't find you. I don't know. I'm not I am a boomer too. And it's Twitter. All right, let's watch them, Morris.
7 was going to be coming to Disney Plus, essentially a continuation of the 90s X-Men cartoon that so many people know and love. You had to know that it was going to turn out badly. Some people still got their hopes up with everything we've seen from them, and that is a mistake.
Why is it okay? Now, I right away I heard that they're going to try to match the animation style, which is really cool. I never heard of animation coming back this far away from this, the original series, that they're going to try to match. That's going to be hard to match it, close.
Yeah, definitely.
I
mean, I'm happy to hear that, because that was one of the reasons I enjoyed personally why I enjoyed it so much, is the animation style. But like you said, that's going to be quite a difficult thing to do.
Yeah. Marrell, Wolverine was always trying to cut Cyclops in the cartoon.
That's funny, but I think it was also because he loved.
Well, I think that's kind of what the point I was making. There always seemed to be some sexual tension between,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was like a love triangle.
Yeah.
What's your
maybe we'll even see that
Twitter, Fade? I'm still having trouble finding you. Did Anthony? Do you know Fade's Twitter?
I believe I've got him on Twitter. 1 second.
Are you able to send him the link?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm having trouble finding him, and he isn't. If he wants to pop in. All right. I'm really looking forward. This is exciting. I didn't think that they were going to do this at all. This surprised me. This announcement. I'm really looking forward. What's the if you like comics, what are you really looking forward to Marvel doing the most next? Fantastic Four, X-Men.
Well, I was going to talk about Fantastic Four a bit later, because obviously that the director's just dropped out of that now, hasn't he, John Watts?
I was disappointed.
So it's a bit. I've seen the press release to say that he's a bit burnt out, which I'd imagine he would be after 3 back-to-back Spider-Man movies, but it's still a bit of a concern, I think. As is what am I personally looking forward to the most? Blade is what I'm looking forward to.
Blade. I just love the X-Men characters. And how do you feel about the movies though? Do you think they succeeded or
they're so hit and miss, aren't they? Though, unfortunately.
What's your favorites?
X2 probably.
What about Days of Future Past?
Yeah. They're just inconsistent as whatever, and then obviously the Wolverine spin-offs were pretty disappointing, apart from Logan, which was amazing.
I sent in the link,
and I'd love them to go down that path with other characters. I really would. But
what's that, Anthony?
I sent Paid the link.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you, man.
All right.
PKL Entertainment. My concerns are only reviving the series because the movies are going to be radically different and unrecognizable from the source material.
I think X-Men are such a popular brand though, so like even though it's going to be compared and like people have their misgivings about Bryan Singer and all that, but the original animation, the animated series was very popular. And so it was out of the animated series that like a lot of the fans pushed for the movies. So
I think it's great that they're going back to almost. I know it's not the roots of the story with 97, okay, but for a lot of people it was really okay. And I think before they push on into the lot, because I think Mary's made a great point. We've had 20 years of absolute rubbish when it comes to live action Fantastic Four movies, and there's obviously a problem with it because they've given it to many different people. So I think it's good that they start off organically. I know your favorite word there, Max. Organically with the
organic,
with the 97, and build slowly on it. I mean, there's so many stories to be told, and there are so many outlets, and animated, Disney Plus, movies. They've got time. They've got the platform that we talked about several weeks ago that DC haven't got, really, I don't think, to move this along at a nice pace and not rush anything. And I think this is a good start to Fantastic X-Men going forward.
Yeah. You need to get a life, that person. That, oh my goodness, disgusting. All right. Okay, let's get to this.
Well, he's
because already.
Oh, go on. No, go on. Sorry.
I think I got him. But oh my God, get a life. Wow. Go and actually, this is where the phrase "go touch some grass" is a really miserable person. Go and do something. Enjoy your life.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, Chris, if you want to pop on too, this is international MME International, so you're international to the Ramblin' Man and
Chris is
and Anthony. So here's Thade. Hey Thade.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Talk a little X-Men.
Yeah, I've been watching the hubbub about this the last couple of days, and I hate to say it. Well, not really hate to say it. I'm just gonna make it clear. I'm looking forward to it. And regardless of what themes or whatever they put into it, X-Men has always been all sorts of stuff that normal. It's always been a very progressive, even in the early days of the comic books, which I've read since the start. Originally X-Men was an allegory for the race relation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just sending Chris the link to.
Okay, cool. We have
I mean, Magneto. I'm not being funny, but it's the early stuff, and even in the movies, was all about the Holocaust.
Yeah, but sorry about that.
Sorry. The two characters were based on, Magneto, Professor X was supposedly based on Malcolm X and MLK, weren't they? So
I liked First Class. I really loved that, and but I especially loved the animated series as a kid. So
thank you, Chris, as well.
Well, the first episode of the show was all about Jubilee, and she was obviously Chinese American. What I was saying a little bit ago, I lagged out for a minute there. The early X-Men stories in the '60s were an allegory for the civil rights movement. Professor Xavier was Martin Luther King. Magneto was Malcolm X. There's always been a whole lot of progressiveness to this storyline. Mm-hmm. And honestly, the first gay mutant was in the 80s. North Star came out as gay in the 80s. So, it's not like it's going to be a big deal for them to face those issues with this show. I honestly don't see what everybody's whining about, aside from the fact that it's Disney. Oh God, we gotta hate Disney.
Well, they're gonna make it modern issues, which they are in the topic. That's, to me, it's like that's good writing, is considering the current climate and incorporating into your product to see it timely and relevant.
Well, these guys, okay, so this show is going to take up where the 5th season of the original show let off. And the thing they're saying, they're talking about, it's going to put modern topics in. Well, you realize that even in '97, some of the topics we deal with today were still around. You still had the divide in the people's sexualities. You still had race issues. You still had all of this stuff was going on in '97. It just wasn't talked about as much because the internet wasn't there was no social media back then. The internet was just kind of a toy to play with, before it actually became a thing. So like the only reason this is coming up more now than before is because it's, social media is a thing. These issues have always been plaguing us as people. These issues have always plagued the situation. So then them saying, "Oh, well, they're going to use modern set." Well, yeah, they probably will. Yeah, I mean, you got to realize they had a pandemic in the X-Men comics in the 90s. It was called the Legacy virus. I mean, that could be a perfect allegory for the coof. I don't want to say too much, but like that could be, the Legacy virus could be the perfect allegory for what the pandemic we're going through now. I mean, all of these issues have always been around. It's more prevalent now because of social media.
Yeah.
But there's so many allegories that they could do. And obviously, there's the whole, I mean, there's the whole religious side, Chris. There's the whole religious aspect with, religious zealots that's popped up. There's yes, all of these things were prevalent in the 90s. We didn't talk about them, and we talk about them today. But like I said, these are the things that sowed seeds in my head when I was younger, and younger people, then it will do the same to a younger audience this time around. It'll actually encourage them to think about the outside world and the modern world and how these characters actually represent them in some way, whether they're lonely or, you've got a character that literally can't touch somebody, literally can't, doesn't want to, it's like that's almost an allegory for mental health in itself, isn't it?
The animated X-Men series was so groundbreaking and such a big deal because it dealt with social issues. Mm-hmm. If they do the same thing, who cares? They're going to call it woke and talk a lot of shit, but who cares? The X-Men fans will love it. I see these guys get on here every day and they celebrate failure. Like they think it's so hilarious that Batwoman got canceled or whatever. And they twist these narratives and make it sound crazy. And in the end, it's all for clicks, man. I got a feeling if they bring out the X-Men like they're supposed to, and they deal with today's issues, it's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Thade, I just muted because I heard background noise. I just wanted to see who it was. Okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
Let's watch a little bit more of this here to see if he has any points whatsoever.
The writing is on the wall, and they're pretty much coming out and telling you this isn't going to be the cartoon that you remember. This isn't going to be the series that you remember.
Fear-mongering.
And we need to tackle real-world problems. X-Men 97 head writer hints.
Why do you use that voice when it's real-world problems? I don't.
How about whenever he reads a comment, it doesn't matter if it's a straight man or it doesn't matter. He always does that lispy, like that gay voice.
Very juvenile.
Yeah.
It's very rude.
The reason why this man always acts like it's the end of the world and everything, and this is something Brodan and I talked about when we were hating on this guy 6 or 8 months ago.
Yeah.
The reason why he always has this problem is because he's afraid of current modern day problems. He's terrified. I mean, just go back to his video he made about Jonathan Kent being gay. You can see. Well,
you can look at Ryan Thade. Look, because he did serve. He is a veteran. He was in the Navy. His brain works a different way from ours. He is a right winger. He's not a centrist or a lefty.
My father served in the military too, Chris.
And my dad's a right winger, but he's not alt right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got alt right, and you just got like Republican conservative Christian values. I mean, I come from a Catholic family. They're gonna view things differently. But when it comes to all this woke cancel culture shit, my mom and dad don't understand that. They're in their late 60s. They don't get it. Ryan is gonna grow up and be the same way, man. He thinks this way because I don't know. Does
he actually think this way? Because it sounds to me like he's never even watched the original series.
I think
that's what it sounds to me. I just think he's now gone down the path that a lot of YouTubers have taken. They've aligned themselves to certain people. They've gathered a certain audience. They're doing really, really well with it, and therefore they jump on any bandwagon. But this is the wrong bandwagon to jump upon. Because
the craziest part, Ramblin' Man, some of these dudes back in the day, like Ryan, when he was doing the EU stuff, before they got on this fandom menace shit and this geeks and gamers stuff, they were likable. They were likable dudes, man. Jeremy was very likable. He's very personable. Ryan was a good dude at one time, you know. Then they got in this group and they started getting a little bit of fame and they turned into straight up assholes, man.
Well, just so you know, Rambling Man, and we'll get to you too, Anthony.
Cool.
When I was doing in some of the talking points too, and I became a miserable person. And
I think
I started to, and then my wife put me in check. She's like, "What are you doing? You used to like things. Now I don't even want to go to the movies with you." It's like,
yeah, I used to really like Ryan and I used to really like Jeremy because they were talking about stuff they were passionate about. I think Jeremy did create something that, you know, he built it from the ground up, a business, but then it got sour. Ryan used to be a good dude. I'm serious. This guy used to be a nice guy.
Let me be very clear. Let me be very clear.
Let's get to Anthony too.
Though. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think you're all making great points, but I think that when they start talking from a business point of view, they're catering to a certain group because they're the ones that are giving money to the channel, and like especially the conservative point of view, because they're a niche group who, if he gives the wrong opinion, they're going to stop supporting his channel. So you notice how he's always projecting any video he makes, especially the ones that like hate monger, fear monger, or they're afraid of women having power, or you know anything that they consider woke, comes from a point of view.
Anthony, I got a real quick question. Brodan wants to get in. Can I send Brodan the link?
Well, this is the Ramble Man Anthony's, but yeah, I don't think we can have more than 6, but that'll be good. Get Brodan in, and then we got to make sure they get their voices in because the bigger the panel.
Right. Definitely.
I'm happy to listen. Don't worry. So.
Yeah, sure. Brodan could come on.
Nerd. Yeah, I know it's hard to believe that at one time they were likable, but they were. Go back about 4 years. Go back to like right when the Last Jedi was hit, and right before that, you know, they were different people. Ryan used to talk about the EU and Star Wars stuff all the time. Now he's just a dick.
But because you are not aligned with me politically, it doesn't mean that you're automatically unlikable. Okay, I have plenty of friends who are polar opposites to me, but we can still have an adult discussion, and one of us can come away and go, you know, good point, fair point. Didn't see it from that point of view. This guy, from what I've seen, and Jeremy, they're just that's it. They've gone for it. They're all out. Well, everything's woke. Everything's it's SJW.
People that don't function. That a lot of people that can't function in real life or be respectful in real life congregate on the internet that don't have a lot of social skills and try to blame others for their misery. You know, that's what I think, and that's why it's so prevalent online. If you go to a workplace or you want to be a legitimate person in a society, you're not going to talk like this. You'll get. I could never talk like this at work. I would never want to either, but you know, be respectful to others.
Oh, these dudes are not talking like this in the real world. They'd have bandages over their eyes. They'd have broken jaws. Some of the stuff these people say, Ryan gets borderline racist, man. Like he gets borderline homophobic and racist at times, man. He would never talk like this in the real world. Never. That's why I lost my temper that day, Max. Okay. I apologize.
Yeah, no losing tempers.
When I lost my temper and told Jeremy if I ever saw him.
Okay, we know.
Dude, they trigger me, bro. You couldn't talk like this in the real world because there's actual repercussions.
All right. Ashley.
Let's see what else he's got to say because he said absolutely nothing in the first 40 seconds, has he? Really?
Yeah.
Disney Plus series will reflect modern issues. The world's a very different place than when the original was first made.
True.
Then why are you making a series?
What?
It's supposed to be.
What? That is a really bad take. Ramble Man. The world's a different place. Then why are you making a series? What? I can't understand that at all.
Like we said, everything that I think they may bring up has been there from the beginning.
But I think they're also forgetting that.
Or if other things have come along in the meantime, hey, they embraced things like this previously, so why wouldn't they embrace things like that? You know, again, I mean, we don't know what it is that he's referring to.
Sorry, Caden's here. Caden, what are you doing here?
He's also he's also forgetting that there's a new generation of kids coming out who all have, I mean, we all have different problems, but these kids that are growing up today, they're all coming from a perspective of they don't know, like, you know, how to express themselves. It's hard to relate to people, and so they'll look to shows like this. And as I said, these characters are relatable, you know, and yeah, so I think that like he's just being very anti X-Men, or you know, being coming from the perspective of, oh, it's woke, got to cancel, it's no good, you know, because again, like I said before, it's catering to a certain group.
Come on, Max, let's play some more because he hasn't made any points yet. Really.
Well, I was just shocked that he said the world's
Yeah, I'm
a
gonna,
place, so
Max,
don't take it. So
Max,
don't-
I'm gonna get some food and dip out of here. I just wanted to come in and say you guys are crushing it, and I'm gonna make some room for Bodan. But I will say this: my generation was raised on TV, and our parents. This generation is raised on the internet. That's why it's different. I really believe that. You know. Anyway, you guys are killing it, and I'm gonna go eat a big meatball sub and watch the rest of the stream.
Whoa!
Later, brother.
Y'all be good.
Take it easy, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Oh, sorry, Nerdette. I haven't been checking my email. I'll email you. Nerdette's a great channel for comics.
Yeah, she's great too.
Amazing channel. Yeah, I would love to come on your channel.
Like Nerdette said,
everyone, please hit the like button. Please hit support the channel.
But like Nerdette says, of course, it's going to focus on the current world. The original show did the same. Like during the 90s, it focused on the 90s.
Yeah, but Ryan's going to tell us. Ryan is hopefully going to tell us why it didn't concentrate on those things. That's the only argument he's got to suggest that what we all perceived it never happened. You know, so let's see how he tries to get himself out of that little. Because he must have an argument. He's got to have an argument somewhere, Max. He really has.
Well, not really. You just throw out the fear mongering. You don't really back it up with details. It's a lot what's going on. All right.
He might have an original thought in his head somewhere. You never know.
Continuation of that. Why don't you just do X-Men 2022? Why don't you make that series? Oh, that's right. Because you know that no one will be interested to watch something original that you make unless it's tied to something that people care about.
You literally just said, wait, hold on. Can you pause that? Wait, he just said X-Men. Due to that fact, what you just said was completely stupid because of the fact it has X-Men over it. That means it will get heads, it will get looks because it's, say it with me, guys, X-Men. So he's an idiot. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Hypocrite. Absolute hypocrite. Oh, by the way, hello to Caden and Brodan.
Yeah, Sasquatch.
Yeah,
what?
Sasquatch has appeared.
Sasquatch is coming.
Well, no, just so you're all welcome here, but we got to get enough focus on Rambleman Anthony because this is their show too. Because it gets crazy.
Hey, Max, I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. All right.
Max, you do know
we're in for with X-Men 97. The latest indication the series will suffer from the same critical theory-based writing that has doomed so many productions before it. X-Men 97 head writer.
Why did they pick that shot of?
What website is he using?
You know what website he's using? Yeah, Mounting in the comics.
Is it wrong that I'm?
Oh, DeMeo.
I'm interested.
Well, I know you are, Broden. Okay, yes, Rogue was amazing back in the day.
I'm sure.
Suggested the upcoming Disney Plus revival will see a focus on today's world woven into the story. DeMeo provided a hint at X-Men 97's planned direction during a recent discussion with the direct writer Russ Milheim regarding the various ways in which the fan favorite incarnation of Marvel the Marvel Super Teams return to the small screen will differ from their initial outing. And you have to talk about the impact that this cartoon had. This X-Men cartoon in the 90s is just as important as Batman the Animated Series, but for these characters as opposed to Batman and the Bat Family. This is a beloved series that a lot of people have great memories of. That's why they're resurrecting it. That's why they're doing a continuation, because they know that people are very passionate about it and that people were very impacted by that and how it developed their fandom throughout the rest of their lives. Well, they're going to take that love and they're going to destroy it. He talked a little bit about how he felt it was important that the characters were.
My childhood! It hurts!
Guys, they're gonna ruin my childhood. They're gonna ruin the
Yeah.
As I always say, F your childhood, bro. F your childhood.
I'll send you an enoil, Nerdette, later today. I will. I promise. I don't remember my my other email is the reason.
Why is it these people always go to they're going to kill my childhood? Brodan, you and I talked about this the other night.
We talked about this, and what did we say? F your effing childhood. Go freaking watch the original.
Are you
F your childhood?
Rating off this channel anyway, bounding into comics. I think that they're so controversial. They always
into comics is just another right-wing website
exactly
on pop culture news.
Yeah, Caden's right. Like if you look at all the ads that pop up too, and the clickbait stories, it's all hate.
It's tapping into that, like when you were growing up and you're like, maybe your father was in the rock and roll. They don't like making rock and roll like they used to. It's the same thing. It's never as good as it used to be. You know.
I think people are gonna.
Although that might hit Ramblin' Man close, because I don't know. Ramblin' Man might actually say, "Oh, they don't make it like they used to." They don't make it like they used to.
But that's a good. I mean, that's a good point, right? You know, if you don't learn to adapt and enjoy new things. I mean, obviously, when I was born, I'm not even going to go into it, but music has evolved just as much as any other art. You know, what are we saying? Every time that something comes out, whether it be a He-Man or whether it be an X-Men, what are we saying? That we can't adapt it to the modern world, and we always have to look at it in this isolated lens of the exact time that it was made. I mean, that's ridiculous, because the X-Men have. I mean, it's gone from A to Z, and there's been many nuances along. This is what this guy doesn't understand. There's no nuance in his view whatsoever. It's right or wrong. You know, nothing in this world is either right or wrong. There's many nuances in between. But I'm sure he's going to tell us why.
No,
he's got to.
I don't know.
Placed, my sir.
Basically, it's just the political barking at the beginning.
In fairness, before we move on, I think we all need to remind the audience that this is all political pandering. I don't know if Ryan cares for half the insane nonsense he spews. This is all political pandering too. And this is why and by the way, to answer why his tone is like this, why he's such an unlikable, D-bag, he knows his audience. They're just a bunch of gamer douchebag bros, just a bunch of bros that he's just pandering to that think they're cool and tough. In reality, they're nobodies, and that's why they're bitching about stupid, irrelevant stuff like a cartoon from their childhood. Oh no, a cartoon is going to come back and it's going to ruin my stuff. Who said you couldn't watch the older stuff anyway?
Oh, he's coming from a place of pure ignorance, and I don't mean politically or anything like that. I mean, he's coming from ignorance, because I don't think he's even seen the original. He can't have seen the original. He can't have.
No.
Oh, I think he has. I think, again, all he's saying this is just, again, for political pandering. This is their audience. They have a formula, and it works. Unfortunately, I have to admit that it works.
This is the thing that's disappointing, is that they downplay downplay harassment on the internet. That's the main issue I have with them, is they downplay it.
They do.
And like, where is it? Where is it?
But if it happens to them, then it's some big deal. I'm like,
then we're attacked. Rambling Man.
Like if you the guy that their opinion, they think that's harassment, and then they question the actual harassment.
Well, they actually were like, we're being attacked by Simu Liu, and all he did was LOL on their.
I wish he attacked him. That would have been funnier, but no, he didn't. So
Simu Liu is one of the funniest guys on Twitter as well. Like he just calls all the hypocrites, and they run off this bounding on into comics or any other sites that just generate hate and negativity.
Well, we have to listen to Rambling Man and say, we have to find, does Ryan have a point at the end of this?
That's right. There's a reason.
All right, let's see if we can get through this.
Truly themselves and earnest. He focused on that a little bit in the interview. Building upon this approach with emotion, when asked by Milheim how X-Men 97 may improve upon or differ from the original series, the writer asserted, I don't know if improve would be a word I would use. I think the show's amazing in so many ways. I think what I would say is the generation who grew up watching that show, we've grown up, and the world's a very different place than when that show was first made. And so it's more of a question of, what does that show look like knowing what we know now and how it looks like in today's world with everything that's changed, everything that hasn't changed, sadly, in our world. That is where I believe my focus has been.
So far, this is a beautiful statement from a writer. Like I'm like, that really intrigues me. Like
they never said that they're going to sit there and focus on certain things. They're saying we're going to talk about current events. That's it. That is it. They've not taken a side. See, when I say I hate the writing of today, it's when you take a side and try and pander to us about a certain side instead of just covering the goddamn issue and just putting it out there. And that's the problem that he seems to not understand. They're not saying they're taking a side. When you take a side, that's when the writing sucks. That's when it's going to be bad.
Well, what's shocking, Rambling Man, is when he says, when he reads it like that, it reveals a lot the way they're like, well, the world has changed. It's different today. And they think that's woke. That's my interpretation of where they're going. Like, addressing things that have changed in the world, and it's a different place.
But this is what I mean. It's almost like they don't want the world to change. They liked it.
No.
They liked it.
They don't.
Their childhood was great, and hopefully their childhoods were great. But it's like they don't want to move on. And
yeah, my childhood was great too. But guess what? Move on.
Yeah.
Move on.
I had an idyllic childhood. I loved it. But you learn, you grow, you adapt. But this is what it's just like they don't want to move on. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, well, let's Rambling Man. We got 39 viewers today for your return.
Hit the like button, folks.
Please smash the like button for Anthony in Rambling Man's MME International. Really helps the show.
If you don't smash the like button, a Sasquatch will come into your house and beat you to death. That's what happens.
Can I say something here before we continue? Can I say something here before we continue?
Sure.
The point was made a minute ago that, these guys don't want anything to change. Well, the thing is, they don't in a lot of ways. But they also don't realize that the world hasn't really changed all that much over the last 30 years. I mean, technology-wise, social media, yes. But again, like I said earlier, we're still dealing with, we dealt with these same issues in the 90s that we're dealing with now. It was just less known about because social media wasn't there, So this perception they have of the world not being the way it used to be, look at it, man.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. They act like the world hasn't been this way, especially in this country for the last 60 years. I mean, yeah, there has been some progression, but not a whole lot. My parents dealt with some of the issues we deal with today. My father was very progressively thinking. He taught me to look at the world and open my eyes to everything, not just to look at a narrow viewpoint. And I see the same things when I was growing up in the 80s going on now. It's just like I said, it's been more opened up to the world because of social media. That's the only real changing device is the social media aspect of it.
In a way, but so I am the oldest on the panel, so I'm happy to say the world has progressed, and I think attitudes have changed. I mean, when I was young, people didn't want to come out as gay.
I remember those times.
We're totally repressed. Would actually become bullies because they were trying to hide the fact that they may be gay, and now it's not even a second. Nobody gives it a second thought. I mean, so compared to those days, so it has moved on. Has it moved on enough? Well, maybe. Well,
having graduated high school in the early 90s, I remember when I had friends that were closeted. I remember those times. I remember my older brother was closeted for a very long amount of his life, until the early 2000s.
I'll say it like this. Things have changed for the LGBT community. And this is what Chappelle was trying to say. You guys have had the fastest change in America compared to certain other groups that haven't had nearly the change that you've had. And that's still true to this day, to this very minute. But, things have progressed for that group.
Well, you have to understand, too, that history, it's not just like this is a recent thing. How long have people in this community had to keep quiet?
Well, actually, not really. Only really in the Victorian times, but back before the Victorian times, being gay wasn't a big deal.
also, you got to remember a show where you got characters with mental illness haven't had a lot of representation, let alone the platform to talk about it, or had a voice. So, when you got characters that can relate, and you got kids or people in general growing up, and
but this is what I think about people like this is that I think you mentioned it, Max. You can't talk like that in public, right?
Right.
Because it's not socially acceptable anymore, and most people don't want to hear it, right?
No.
Okay. A very small percentage of the world wants to hear that opinion.
You know,
and this is the only way this guy feels possibly that he can let that out. So let him let it out, right? Because I think that we've moved on, because actually we don't talk like that now.
That's the problem.
We did talk about it in the 80s and 90s. We don't talk like that anymore. So he's using YouTube to dump all that hate and spite on the rest of the world.
Well, that's the problem with the internet in general. These people say all this insane and ain't BS. You know, and you know, to reference the stuff in Florida, I actually agree with the bill, because I actually know what the bill entails. I read it. It's just the same bill they've been proposing for, I don't know, my entire effing life with.
Well, I'd rather not get into that.
Well, I'm not getting into it, but guys, it's the same bill that they've been telling us for like our entire life.
What I would say is that I do think that parents should have a right on what they're taught to their kids.
That and
also, there's a lot of fear mongering for stuff.
By the way, I do believe sex education should be taught in high school. Now, after high school, there is no excuse. I think that should be mandatory class. But before high school, I'm okay with what they do. But in high school, when you're going through what you're going through, you need to be. Someone needs to be there to tell you what a dang, a rubber tool is. Jesus Christ.
Well, let's see. This is where I don't want to get into this, but I appreciate your opinions too, Nerdette. That's why I'm like, I don't want to get into that one. See, thank you, bro. Woo! I don't want to get into that one. Woo! That's a controversial one.
Let's go back to what Ryan's saying. How about that?
Yeah.
Back to Ryan.
As a storyteller has really been that. So his focus as a storyteller is not keeping it consistent with what it was before. His focus has been to make sure that the current modern world and those values are reflected on what is supposed to be a continuation of something from the mid-90s. This has disaster spelled all over it.
What?
And we already knew that from the people that are involved, because they cannot help themselves.
Well, this is where, because they said, you're for freedom of speech, then you should be fine. Remove the art from the artist because one of the artists says impeach on a tweet. Okay.
I think you made a great point too. These are points he's making that he wouldn't make in public because he would be drowned out. It's just stupid.
Well, I mean, listen, I don't necessarily, I really try to stay very clear of politics. I was sort of going in there a little bit over my YouTube career, and I was like, nope. I'm going away.
Oh, I went into that, and dude, I tell you right now, F that.
yes, but now you're attacking people because they're voicing their. How many times, Ryan, have you said, "Go, Brandon"? Go, Brandon. You know that's the same thing.
Brandon,
as F Trump. You know that's the same exact thing. You're just on the opposite side. Honestly, I don't really like, regardless of how much I do not like the president, I don't really like saying F them either way. I just, whatever. Me personally.
I have personal reasons why I can say F them to both, but you know what? That's whatever. But that's why I say both.
You say F everyone. Okay,
yeah, F Max.
But I'm just saying, what does this have to do with anything? You're exactly.
So why is he criticizing somebody for speaking their mind when that's exactly
because it's not his team? This is proof.
Well, no. See, he's spinning a narrative here. He's trying to say that since these people have these views, they're going to make this show about those views. You know, this is where you have to divide. This is where you have to divide the art from the artist.
You have to have a mind.
Well, I will be disappointed if they have an episode about impeaching Donald Trump. I will be.
I'll be disappointed too, but you know what? Until I see it,
they won't use Donald Trump, but they'll bring up Senator Kelly. You know, remember in the 90s comic books and the 80s comic books, Senator Kelly hated mutants. He wanted them dead.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right.
So they're going to use their own political allegories that come from the story.
Yeah, which has always been there. It's
because
not new.
Right.
X-Men, it was an allegory on civil rights.
Well,
I would not pick on this.
People have to remember the original showrunners for the 90s animated cartoon are executive producers on this show. So they know the material, they know where they're going with it.
It's insane to me he's saying all this when you literally have people who worked on the goddamn show working on this show. What is your problem? This is what you should want.
And see, the other thing you got to remember is not everyone is going to be watching this show is political. You're going to have kids watching this. He forgets that, but he's not thinking of the outside square of like these websites that cater to the conservative view, or the people who are against women having power, or the other parts that I've mentioned. Like it's just stupid.
Well, there's no better. I mean, the X-Men series is one of the best at revealing prejudices that people have. Like I remember watching the cartoon, and people would completely treat you so different once they found out you're a mutant, and that it's not an exact parallel, but it really shows how people can be and how
So Max, like I said earlier about the legacy virus, you know what the legacy virus in the X-Men comics was an allegory for, right? It was an allegory for the AIDS virus.
Oh, okay.
And it was, it was another way that the X-Men comics were taking on the issues of the time. Remember, in the early 90s, when the legacy virus was introduced into the comic books and also introduced into this cartoon, by the way, AIDS was scary. This was a terrifying thing that everybody that everybody was afraid of, that everybody was wanted to blame on the homosexual people. They wanted to blame it on people who were drug users and everything else. When honestly, a good amount of the people that were getting AIDS were regular, straight, heterosexual people.
Mm-hmm.
It came out of irresponsibility, not necessarily because a person was gay or was a needle freak or whatever. I mean, yes, those things happen. Yes, those things happen, but it was fear. And that's what and like I said, the X-Men have always used what's going on in the real world as allegories.
Awesome, Lewis.
It was based on that. That's what they based. Well, they based it on Doom Patrol, but they based a lot of the X-Men stuff on current events, and that's what basically made this group. Stan Lee, I read an interview with him saying it. Listen, we just took the current events of what's going on with the civil rights movement, and we just made something about it. That's it.
Exactly.
And that's what made Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, who were the ones who created the X-Men, that's what made them really amazing people. They always, Stan Lee always took current events and put it into the Marvel comics. It was always about, people talk about SJWs, Marvel's always been SJW. It's always been increasingly progressive, or as progressive as it could be, because people like Stan Lee, people like Jack Kirby, people like Steve Ditko, all of these people made Marvel Comics very progressive.
And it's in both comics. Them and DC have been very progressive in what they do. They always talk, because guys, let me give you this little shocking tidbit, because these idiots have no idea what they're talking about. What comics are just political propaganda, so it's always been this route forever. It started as political propaganda. Wake up. It's not that big of a deal. And again, you know what I hate the most out of all this? Has he seen the show?
No.
And shut the hell up.
Well, I think he's seen the show, but he's so stuck.
No, Max, no. I didn't say the show. I said the new show. Has he seen the new incarnation?
No. Okay, yeah.
No one has. So why is he whining?
These guys always attack things before they come out. They never give things a chance.
They love to hate on. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Anthony. Go ahead.
They love to hate on things. Like, look how they were when Masters of the Universe came out. And now they're filming a new series, or they're recording a new series. Mark Hamill put a post out. He's recording more voice work for it. And these people, the same people, come out so hard saying, well, it's going to fail, it's no good, it's no respect. And then they all got shut up in droves because it was such a success. They take away the voice of those people who don't have a voice. You know, they don't give people a real opportunity to just watch the show first before you come out so hard against it.
No, you fearmonger first without any facts, and then if it comes out it's okay, you're like, well, I guess it's okay.
Especially out of context.
The thing is they'll backtrack somehow, some way, but they come out with the fearmongering first to get everybody riled up, and then people, regardless of the content of the show, people are going to be, well, and if even just a little bit of what Ryan says happens, even just a little bit, it's going to be okay. So the whole thing is bad, and it goes that way. It really does.
Let's never apologize for coming out so hard against it either.
Let's finish this video with one last, and then we'll move on to other topics, because this is a good topic though. People want to talk about the XMen series, so.
But insert their ideology into whatever they're making. Previously, the show's supervising director pinned a tweet to his account, features a message declaring, "Fuck Trump. He's still your boy, then fuck you too." There you go, from Jake Castorena. That's going to be great. Glad the supervising director seems to have, no problem with anyone with another political viewpoint.
No Brandon.
What else do we
There's
have?
No difference.
The supervising producer, Charlie Feldman. Donald Trump cannot condemn white supremacists because he is a white supremacist. Repeated that over and over and over again, because
what does this have to do with the writing of the show?
Mental illness. These people are absolutely insane.
They're saying they can't help themselves. They can't help themselves.
Yeah,
he still hasn't made a point. He still hasn't.
No, it's not a good point. It has nothing to do with mental illness. The gaslighting's pathetic. Stop.
Yeah.
Ramblin' Man, have you seen any point whatsoever yet?
No.
It's just that they do the same thing I do on the opposite end.
We've got a minute into it. He might come up with a zinger right at the end.
No zingers.
So said the Kyle Rittenhouse is a fucking murderer, among a lot of other different statements. In my personal writing, tropes include grappling with gender, himbo good boys, mom stuff, queer kids going on adventures, folk myth, fairy tales. Neil Gaiman probably did this better, and anxiety over the future. These are the people that are involved with the new X-Men series on Disney Plus, which, if you got your hopes up, that's kind of on you at this point.
I'm sorry, but that's what X-Men's been about. X-Men talked about gay, about LGBT issues. They talked about these things. What are you talking?
Well,
you know nothing of X-Men.
The X-Men also deal with a lot of young characters.
Oh, what a casual!
It's always dealt with young people growing up. It's always dealt with young people going through issues.
Exactly.
No,
so those are the
point that he was trying to get.
Hold on.
The point.
Rambling Man for.
No, I was just saying those issues that he's listed, they are real world issues for lots and lots of teenagers out there.
Exactly.
Struggling with your sexuality one way or the other. I mean, mental illness,
isolation,
these have all been dealt with previously in X-Men stories.
Even this, especially by like people like him on the internet saying your life choices are mentally ill or weird.
Exactly.
That's what he does to other people, where he calls them weird.
The point that I could see that Ryan was trying to make is this: the writers on the show. He's saying that the writers on the show aren't going to be able to keep their own politics out of it, so the whole show is going to be just like them.
Yeah, but that's my thing. How do you
I agree? Do I agree? Do I agree with a lot of what these people are saying?
No.
But do I think that they're going to separate what they do? Woo! Well, they're better if they want to make money.
Basil, he passed the bet. He's taking a nap.
And I can say this. I have my own private beliefs and political views and everything, but I don't bring it out on YouTube. When I do YouTube, I'm unless it's relevant to the conversation. So these people aren't going to necessarily throw their views into this cartoon. But he's fear mongering and saying they're going to, so thus you have to hate it.
Meaning
it's basically saying anything can't be written by anybody with a political bias. You wouldn't have anything. You wouldn't have TV shows. You wouldn't have movies. You wouldn't have anything. If
we wouldn't have had 50 years of Star Trek if people if Roddenberry had been allowed to put his political bias, if Roddenberry hadn't put his political bias into Star Trek, we wouldn't have had a good show.
And that's what good superhero movies and that's what good science fiction does.
And again,
it always has done, always will do.
There's nothing wrong with politics. What these idiots don't understand is there's something wrong when you take a side politically and just lecture us on the side without any good writing. That's the problem. But there is no evidence to support what they're going to do on this show yet. No one knows.
Yeah.
No one knows. No one has any actual evidence. No one has any real leeway on what they're going to do. We don't know. So prejudging the show, and this is why all this other crap I don't really care about. What I can't stand is the amount of idiots, and this is not even like Ryan that I can't stand the most at all this. It's the idiot fanboys that believe this just sludge of dog shit. I can't stand. I cannot stand that they prejudge these shows and then actually sit there and influence their decision. Watch the damn show first.
Yeah.
Then judge.
Come on.
Something that I've always realized about Ryan is he's very insecure. If you read between the lines with this guy, he's always been insecure about everything. Horribly insecure. And he throws his insecurities at his audience and treats it as something they have to fear. This guy is afraid of life in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but there's an audience. There is an audience for that, and his audience lap that up, I'm afraid. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, let's finally finish then, and we see if we got our topics here. No more pauses. No more pauses.
Zinger.
The zinger's coming.
That you cared about, that they're about to do a reboot of, or a sequel, or a continuation from these types of people in Hollywood. If you are still getting excited over that, I suppose at this point, it's your own fault. They've told you numerous times that they despise you and that they hate you, and they will stop at nothing. They will stop at no form of destruction of any of the stuff we love in order to push their narrative and push their message. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
Who is
So his point was,
it just occurred to me. It just occurred to me who this guy reminds me of. Did anybody ever play Command and Conquer on the PC?
Remember to
he reminds me of Kane.
Everyone.
He reminds me of Kane. He reminds me of the leader of the evil side, with his little talking head things that he would do in the cutscenes. Like, he reminds me of Kane from Command and Conquer. It's scary. Anyway.
I mean, I think that throwaway line that these people are doing this, what does he mean by these people,
what does he mean they're attacking us? Who's us? Like, I don't feel attacked by anything that just happened. What the hell are you talking about?
I was waiting for that thing to come at the end. I was waiting for him to justify, come up with any.
Well, like his whole conclusion is he didn't make a point. He made a conclusion based off of the.
Shut up, Caden. Nobody cares.
That this show will ruin your childhood because they're going to stuff their politics in this, and if you're expecting if you're expecting a wonderful show, fuck you and fuck your childhood because they're not going to do that. Give you
stop stealing my lines.
Okay, why did I get a link?
I didn't know.
To this?
I didn't have anything witty to say. I could have come up with something better.
Why did I get a link to this? What's going on? What happened?
Just because you were around to say hi. That's all. Ramblin' Man's back.
Welcome back.
Just to stop in to say hi. And you stay as long as you want. I know you're busy. You were just busy streaming as well.
You almost said you were busy stripping. I heard that.
I did not.
Are you? Are you? I mean, you're stripping. Let's go.
It's my number one fan.
He is.
It's your. I finally get it. Wow.
Wow, Max is my number one fan. Yeah.
Our ladies.
Max, you have the link. Give me the link to the OnlyFans. Come on, bro.
I don't have no.
Hand it over, Max.
I'm going to make I got to get in shape first, but I'm going to have just.
No, Max. I didn't say your OnlyFans.
No, Max. You guys heard it here first. Max thinks I'm a stripper on the side. I moonlight.
No, I didn't say that. That's
we all do.
What?
Yeah, and you told me that the most.
43 people watching for MMA International.
And welcome to it, Devolving, baby.
Anthony, woo!
Wait, they're international? I thought they were Americans.
Hey, Anthony's one of the only Australians that isn't a jerk. I'm joking. There's great Australians out there, except for one.
Saggy's not a big Australian fan either, are you, Saggy? You have a lot.
Oh no, I love the Aussies. I love the Aussies. They use the C word as much as I do. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I love Aussies, man. It's just for that one Aussie.
That word gets used a lot in the UK as well. Being as I grew up over there, so the C word gets thrown around all the time. So
we had this discussion a couple of weeks ago.
I like how they can use it, but when I use it, I'm a bad guy.
we use it as a term of endearment. I mean, it's used all the time.
Hey, rambling, rambling. It's what you call your best mate, isn't it? I mean, it's exactly.
Yeah.
And over here, Americans are so touchy about that word.
Yeah, you think?
I don't like that
you
word.
think?
I'll be true.
I like how
Aussies are a bit more blunt with it, though. They're very blunt with it.
Here in Australia, it's funny because you call your mates the C word, and you call the C word mates.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I love how the UK they call apartments flats. I always like that term. They call them flats.
I'm currently in a flat right now.
Daggy, they call them flats or units.
Oh, they call them. We also call them.
We don't call them units. What are you talking about?
Here in Australia, they call them flats or units.
Oh, we don't.
I like that they call them flats. So I saw Ryan Kinnell on the screen. What are you guys doing to my?
Yeah, they call them flats in the UK, but yeah,
he was complaining about modern, current topics,
saying how X-Men is going to be dead on arrival and
it's going to be woke mess and blah blah blah.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not gonna because I didn't watch Ryan's take on it, but like I don't think they can do an X-Men movie, right? Like they've had so many opportunities in so many movies that they just missed opportunities with the stories. Like it's just like sad. I don't know if Marvel could maybe save it and maybe do it right, but like I don't know at this point. I have no faith.
Instead of going and combining all of them, I would go and do a time period X-Men, sort of like.
In fairness, I'd like to remind everyone the greatest written Marvel movie is an X-Men movie. Just saying.
Which one?
But that wasn't made by Marvel.
No, it wasn't. Well, no,
it was made by
so you have less faith in. So MCU could do a fine job. I don't see what the problem is.
I mean, I don't know. I want to have faith in Marvel that they could do a proper X-Men movie live action because they've done very well with the franchises that they have done so far, and I love everything they're doing. Like I love Moon Knight. Moon Knight was like one of those sleeper shows that I didn't think I was actually going to enjoy, but it's like I'm loving Moon Knight. And
Saggy, I think they could do it if they get the right people writing the story. What we were talking about was the animated series. They're revamping the animated series from the 90s. They're going to take up where the animated series in the 90s left off. They're calling it X-Men 97. But they've got the original showrunners as executive producers over there on the show.
No, I don't have faith in it. I don't.
Oh wow!
I don't have faith in it because here's the thing. Like, I hate that I have to do this because like usually I don't agree with Ryan Kinnell's takes at all. But like, there is always going to be that fear because there is like this new generation, right? Where like back in the day, the reason why X-Men and those shows were really great is because they were kind of woke back in those days, because if you look at X-Men in the 90s, like it was about racism because mutants were their own race. It was all about racism.
It's always been that way, though, Saggy.
It's always been that way.
It's even more so now with Hickman's run in the X-Men comics.
Right, but that's the thing. Like, even though it was always like, I guess, woke back in the day, I feel like because everyone is looking for wokeness, it's not going to do well because it's going to keep going down that path of woke, right? Because it was always woke then. No one had a problem with it then. But because now people have a problem with wokeness in the culture, it's going to be destroyed. It's going to be destroyed.
Saggy, people who are
destroyed?
Yeah.
Saggy, people who are in general X-Men fans are going to be fine with it. Because we've always known, I myself am, that's like my major comic book love is the X-Men. I have always been a fan of, and I've always seen the quote unquote woke in the X-Men. Okay, that's not the problem. So the true X-Men fans are probably going to be just fine with it. It's general audiences, though, I don't know. It just depends on what side you see the world on, I guess.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I think it's going to get destroyed because there is too many people looking looking now. Like everything in entertainment's woke now. Nobody can enjoy anything because there's always a hidden message, and that's what people are looking for. And because X-Men started off that
good
way,
art usually has a message. I don't know why people
Well, that goes-
want this so
that's
sterile and bland.
I understand.
That goes for everything, though, Saggy, and not just the X-Men. I mean, that's just in general.
No, I get it.
Every
Hold on,
movie
let me try to explain this in a way that, like, because I think we're getting, and it's probably my fault because I have a really shitty way of explaining things. Like, I'm not saying like I agree with him on like that it's going to be woke trash. It was always woke, so it's not that. I think the issue is because it is woke. It is a woke-ish story, right? For argument's sake, that the reason why like his audience and people in that mind space and sphere are going to see it that way and just be like, this is trash, this is woke. And they're not going to remember that it's always been this story. It's always been this political story, always. But because they didn't see it back then, and now people are seeing it now, like how they have a lot of politics in entertainment, and they're starting to not like it all of a sudden, that's what's going to kill it.
So are you, let's get, so just as I understand, so when you said you're not confident in it, are you confident that it will be a good show, or are you not confident that it will be well received?
I think that if they're going to do it the way they did it in the 90s, that the show itself will still be good, at least for me, because I love the old show. Yeah. But with the culture now, I don't think it's going to be well received at all.
I will say, you know, Saggy, I disagree with you on that. But I'm not saying you don't have. I'm not saying you don't have a good idea with what you're saying. I don't think it'll be as bad as maybe you're letting on that it will be. I think people will accept it more than you think.
I just hope they don't go the route of like, this is my biggest fear with this news is like, it's cool they have the old writers, but out of fear of like,
they do have the old writers, okay,
right? But here's the thing, like, just because they have the old writers doesn't necessarily mean they're going to write the same as they did in the 90s, because the culture has changed.
Well, who wants them to write? Well, we've had this discussion. Nobody wants them to write. Who in their right mind wants them to write like we're still in mid-90s?
They want.
Yeah, well, I think Ryan Kinnaman and a few people like that. You're going to be. Let's have more faith in humanity, right? That there are more people that are not like Ryan than are like Ryan. That's all.
Not to interrupt you, Ramblin', but I think if the X-Men does what it has always done, which is flow with what's going on in the world, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, me too.
Oh wow!
I'm just worried that they're gonna write it so far differently than what it was. Well, I don't mind changes. Like I don't mind them writing certain things.
That's the strength of the X-Men, though. It's always changed with the times.
Well, Saggy.
That's why it still endures now.
X-Men are youth that are even disowned from their own families in a lot of cases. Marginalized and taken away from society and treated very differently and so much prejudice. What could be better than to adapt what the youth of the current ages are going through, including LGBTQ thing? Because that is still where a lot of the people online, especially, you're a weirdo if you put. I firmly expect them to deal with like pronouns and stuff in their bios and stuff, or what they identify as, especially when they're dealing with this stuff with being also a mutant.
But
so
you know
why wouldn't you deal with that?
Well, here's the thing, Max. You know what the issue is the moment they come out with one of the characters who has never been like gay or lesbian or even had that inkling, the moment they change that character, you know everyone's gonna lose their mind. Is it a change though, or is it they just never mentioned it before? Like that's the other thing. We just know them about the character.
And we've already said that a lot of the sexuality of the characters is quite ambiguous because there've been love triangles between men and women and men. We've had an openly gay character right from the beginning almost. So you can chuck what you like at it, but you can always go back to the fact that X-Men have always dealt with these issues. That's what it's there for. It's an allegory of people's day-to-day issues.
They make Wolverine transgender. The world's gonna burn.
Well, yeah, you're right about that.
I don't think that they would ever do that because of the popularity of the Wolverine character. Because
No, he already is. He already is gender fluid. I think. Like he's.
Oh, stop it!
No, he's been
Okay,
with,
so what? You know what? That was okay. So Max, I read those comics. Okay, they only hinted at certain things.
Yeah.
They never actually straight out come out and said it.
No, like
and you have to understand, like
with Hercules. Like, didn't he have
that was an alternate version of Wolverine in a different different part of the multiverse. With Hickman's run, let me finish. With Hickman's run, okay, there's a new rule for all mutants on Krakoa, okay, which is where all the mutants on Earth are now. Well, they're on Krakoa and now they're on Mars as well, but that's beside the point.
Oh dear.
With Krakoa, the rule was there was one of the three major rules for mutants was kill no other mutant. Basically live in harmony on Krakoa, and then the third commandment of Krakoa was multiply, basically. Okay, so for a couple of different issues, there was like this massive mutant orgy on Krakoa.
Yay.
Okay, because they're trying to further the mutant race, and now with their settlement on Mars, they're turning Mars into a mutant planet. Okay, so they're just trying to further their race. Now, whether that leads to some weird shit that happens at orgies, well, that just happens. Okay, it's not necessarily saying Wolverine's bisexual. It's just saying, maybe.
I think like the thing I used to love as a kid was watching how Xavier established the school for mutants, and it brought about telling them that they're not alone, that they could go, they had somewhere to go to where they wouldn't feel that, they wouldn't feel that isolation, where they could be part of something, where they at least have somewhere safe. Where a lot of kids these days, I see it, and like people I know who still to this day feel that isolation, feel they don't have a voice. I've got gay friends who feel they can't be their true selves, and racial problems as well. That's prevalent in the world as well still.
Well, also, you have to think about it. Wolverine is over 250 years old, okay?
Yeah.
A lot of things are going to happen to you in a 250-year lifespan, okay? A lot of things happen to us in an 80-year lifespan. You're talking about a man who's seen almost 3 centuries pass in his natural life, okay?
And see,
who's to say that he hasn't? Who's to say that he hasn't walked that road before?
Yeah.
Well, exactly. I mean, we could go through so many different stories, types of literature about when gender or sexuality was fluid. I mean, go back to things like, Dracula. Dracula was, for your point, Dracula has lived for X amount of years, and he's like sexually fluid.
Well, it's like vampires in general. Yeah. Vampires in general are gender fluid. Okay.
So what happens? What happens with the next, big vampire movie?
When they introduce,
are we going to have a mass Ryan video about?
Oh my god! When they introduce vampires in the MCU, they're going.
Well, exactly. We just talked.
Oh no! Just wait till this new Interview with the Vampire show comes out on Amazon.
Oh,
just wait.
Interview with the Vampire. Yeah.
Not Amazon. AMC. Just wait.
Oh yeah.
They're going to lose their minds because Anne Rice's vampires were always sexually fluid. Okay. It's going to go crazy. All right.
Tom Cruise was sexually fluid in the original. So
yeah.
So it's as simple as that. Anyway, what was your original question about the X-Men? What was in the title?
Oh, mine?
Yeah. What did you put in the thumbnail? Is this going to be bad? What should we have?
Question mark. That was just.
I don't think any of us, apart from Saggy, have got any doubts it'll be okay, and Saggy's got some doubts about the perception. Rather than the actual quality.
I think it's going to be great. I actually want to see them challenge themselves and get more political in this series because it was always there. Dealing with things. I'm sure they're going to have hints about, communities online too, saying, "Oh, you're a weirdo," or it's real world. There's a big group of people.
I think William just hates the 90s. He hates this. He hates Batman Beyond.
Wow, 90s was not a good decade for William.
He just hates the 90s.
He hates the 90s. He hates
something happened to him in the 90s.
Well,
what happened to you, William?
The 90s was great for me.
Let me make something very clear, and it's something Brodan and I have said in a while, and it's something Widow's bringing up here. Though there have been some MCU movies and some MCU things that have been not so great, they haven't literally failed yet.
7,
They haven't.
3, 2, 1.
What the hell?
They haven't failed yet. That was my phone ringing. That was my phone ringing. Sorry, guys.
I thought like you had like a bomb that was coming down.
I was like, is it a bomb? Are we gonna lose Fade?
Are we gonna lose Fade soon?
Like Fade's like,
no, that's
guys,
literally
in 5 seconds. I'm gone.
That's literally my Android being an Android. But anyway, look.
Saggy, can you ask William what happened to him in the 90s? What happened? He's really upset about the 90s.
William, are you fucking serious? Excuse my French, but are you fucking kidding me? The 90s.
You guys not understand William. He's a comic book nerd. He hates all adaptations of comic books, guys. You guys have to be
cartoons were amazing. X-Men.
Yeah, you guys are really arguing the wrong dude on this. I'm just letting you know it's a waste of time.
I think transitioning out of this topic. What did everyone?
We're what now?
What did everyone think of the announcement for the Batman sequel?
Great.
I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait. I know it was kind of something we all knew was coming. It's kind of like, oh, it's news.
That was kind of the point behind CinemaCon. Most of CinemaCon didn't excite
we already
me because
knew.
it's all stuff we knew.
Yeah, we knew this. We knew that. Okay, great. You're reminding me of what I've known. Great, moving on.
Over Batman at this point. I'm over Bruce Wayne Batman.
That's fair. That's fair.
So you've been a lot of it. Let's go
around
the panel with that. Rambling man, what do you think of Saggy's?
Okay, that's it. Can we muzzle Saggy, please? She's been so negative. I'm joking, Saggy. I'm joking.
Saggy's negative.
That man's oversaturated. We have.
I need to say it. I need to say it. I need to say it though. Honestly,
echo chamber.
Honestly, I've been saying this. Batman. I like Batman and all, but time to focus on the other people in the Bat family. Put more focus on them. I think we've done enough Batman shit for a while. Make some side stories. Make a Red Hood show. Do some other things. Give us something else to look at with Gotham.
I'm so sorry.
I think Rambling Man's got a take.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
What have I? I was enjoying listening to it.
Do you understand the argument, Rambling, about people being over Batman? We've had so much You like the Batman, right?
Yeah, I love the Batman.
But are you do you get that point of view? Like you want to see more in the Batman? Yeah, they're making Batgirl. Yeah, what do you think?
Batgirl.
But how have we had too much Batman?
It's always been Batman, though. Every Batman story has always been focused on Bruce Wayne and Batman. Like, I get it, it's Batman, but there are other stories.
I completely disagree. I think most of the criticism of the Batman movies is that actually most of the time the villains have dominated the film. I mean, if you look at some of the Nolan stuff, didn't Joker completely dominate Dark Knight?
Yeah, had 1 point.
I mean, so I don't think it always has been about it. I think it's been nice actually to focus on Batman a bit more in this film and the detective side of it and all that kind of stuff, which has been missing for quite a while.
I will say,
I just don't want it to go down the traditional route now. And even though they've shoehorned the Joker into this.
Yeah, let's not do that again.
Somehow, let's not do that again. Let's not go down the Joker route. We've been there. We've done that a little bit. There's a lot, like everybody's saying, there's a lot in that universe to explore, and I don't want to go down the Joker route. I really don't.
I think with Joker,
I'm just pushing my buttons.
Yeah, I think Joker, he's not going to be the top.
You can push my buttons again anytime you like.
I think Joker's going to be in the third film. He'll be the main antagonist. But because they're also doing the
William, I'm trying.
They're also
you're killing me today.
they're gonna start filming the Penguin series soon. That starts filming in June.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to do an Arkham series as well, based around the same characters.
Can I get a series in?
Like going into the sequel, does anyone have any ideas of what villains may appear? Because Matt Reeves has touched on the fact that, he does like.
I would like to see Mr. Freeze and
Clayface. I think Clayface.
Can I backtrack for just one moment though on the exhaustion with Batman in general? All right, give me a second. Exhaustion.
It's getting emotional.
I thought that was
the thing about the general. The thing about the Batman in general is the same argument people make about Spider-Man. Okay, there's going to be certain superheroes that are always going to be prevalent in movies and TV shows.
And those characters I've not heard anyone sick of
those characters being Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Okay. Whereas as nerds or as comic book people or whatever, whereas we might get tired of it, the general population, they only know certain names. Most people most of the general population, most of the general viewing audience doesn't even know the difference between Marvel and DC. Okay. They know names. They know character names. They know Superman. They know Batman. They know Spider-Man. Some people know the X-Men. Okay. So those things are always going to be there because those make money with the general viewing audience. Okay. So whether we as a group are tired of seeing Batman, the general populace isn't going to be tired of seeing Batman because over the last 20, 30 years, Batman's changed several different times. It's been different actors. It's been different situations. It's been different, it's just been a different situation altogether. Now, in general, you have Bruce Wayne, you have Batman, but there's always going to be something that makes the character interesting, and every different incarnation of it has made the character interesting, at least to the general viewing public. Okay. To us, it may be tired, but to them, it's not.
William, the show, the Batman, the animated series was for children, bro.
I'm just showing that,
it's for kids. You can't show bloody beat down Batman.
Oh, well, the thing I was proving Thade right that people don't know the difference between Marvel and DC because look at this. Director Patty Jenkins talks about Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman in the latest Marvel superhero adventure film.
This is the Sun, though.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I get that.
Do you have an American Sun? Because if it's like the English Sun, they are wrong all the time. Yeah.
Right, and Dade, I get everything you said, but like I said, that's the thing. That is the problem. Is that they're doing it for the general audience and not for the fans. It's like, cool, you want to still do your Batman films for the general audience, then continue to do it for the general audience and fans who want to see it. But at the same time, you still could also be giving the fans other stories that we have yet to see on the big screen that fans would very much like to see and could possibly enjoy. Like, I get that their whole intent is making money. Cool. You can make money through the general audience. Your target right now is the general audience where it should be both. It should be the fans and the general audience. So if you're going to make another Batman film, cool, make your Batman film. But also, why don't you make Batman films for fans that tell the stories that the fans will appreciate more than the general audience and that the general audience might also be able to appreciate, because you won't know if the general audience might appreciate it unless you take that risk. But at least you know you still have fan money. Regardless of which, you will still have fan money. Hands down. They will spend money to see it.
But aren't they already doing that with the animated stuff? I mean, the animated stuff.
Yeah, I would say that
does fly in that direction, Sag. And if you're a real fan, you'll watch the animated stuff. So it is.
Here's the thing, Saggy. Here's the thing, Saggy. Okay. Here's the thing. The Batman with Pattinson in it has been different than other Batman movies we've gotten in the past because we got the truly detective version of Batman in that movie. We have never before gotten the truly detective version of Batman. We've got little inklings here and there of it, but we haven't gotten the truly detective version of Batman. And that's what they're doing with the Reeves Batman movies. They're making him, they're bringing him back to his detective roots. They're bringing him back to that kind of film noir feel. Okay.
Yeah. And he's only in year 2 in the Batman. So, he's still learning.
Right, and that's cool and good. Like I said, I'm not shitting on the Batman movie. Like I think that the Batman movie, like everything you said is right. That's cool. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's a different Batman, right? So they took a leap. Was like, hey, we're gonna bring back a detective Batman. Now, the general audience won't know that. Like you said, general audience won't know that Batman was a detective more than just a Cape Crusader, right? So they're seeing Batman for the first time in this light, whereas fans knew about this for a long time and been waiting to see it. So they finally did something for the fans. Cool. But again, I am at the point where it's like there's been so much Batman stuff and Batman stories with different actors. Like I'm kind of like burnt out of it. Like give me
Okay,
something.
so Staggy, let me just say something here, and this is going to be a hot take. I agree with you. I like Pattinson's Batman, and I want to see what the Reeves Batman stuff does. But to tell you the truth, and I talked to a friend of mine about this yesterday, I have not really been impressed with a lot of the Batman stuff that's come out over the years. There's only been one or two properties that I have been impressed with. I loved The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger's Joker. I think he did an amazing job. But hot take, I actually like a Batman property hardly anybody does, and that's the show Gotham.
I love Gotham. I love Gotham for that very reason.
Right. Yeah, but you have to admit, Saggy, not a whole lot of people did.
Right, because they didn't understand that the whole premise of Gotham was everything about Gotham that's not Batman, because Batman was still a kid. Like, I like that show because it focused more on Gotham and the characters surrounding Batman and not Batman himself. But that's why a lot, like, even though a lot of people, it like I said, general audience, I agree with people. Like, honestly, if I had my way, I'd say fuck the general audience. The general audience comes and goes. The fans stay. The fans will watch even the crap shit they put out because the fans are dedicated. So, like I said, that is my pet peeve is like, there are other stories that have yet to be told in the Batman universe that I'd love to see on the bat screen. I am always going to say it till the day I die, until I see it. Make a Batman Beyond movie because that show was so great and that story was so amazing.
They have a lot of things to do with what they make a Batman Beyond film.
Well, with some of the Reeves verse stuff that's coming out, I think we are going to get that Gotham feel. Because not everything is going to involve Pattinson's Batman. You've got the Arkham Asylum show that's coming out that they've already said he's going to be a presence, but he's not going to be ultimately a part of that show. You may see him come in and out, but that show is going to be about Arkham Asylum. That show is going to be about the Arkham family. As for the Penguin show, that one's going to be focused almost entirely on Penguin's coming up as a gangster, coming up as a boss. Some of the other stuff that the Reeves verse is talking about doing is not going to be Batman centric. It's going to be Gotham centric.
But let's get real though, right? Let's just get real because Gotham was for the fans. It didn't do that well.
It didn't do well because it didn't have Batman in it. And they wanted to see more Batman. That's the thing that I hate.
Exactly, but what you're saying is you want to see, and I think any fan of Batman wants to see that, but it didn't do very well. The general public want you to include the major characters. I mean, look at the first Suicide Squad. We're going to get the Joker. We're going to get Batman in any way we can. We can put it on the trailer. People will go, oh, Batman, Joker, I'm going. Ultimately disappointed with it. They took all that stuff out of Suicide Squad 2. Nobody went to the cinema, even though it was a much better film than the first one. So you can't have it both. You can have it both ways, right? And that's what they're going to try and do. They're going to try and give you other stories.
Aren't they going to do Death in the Family?
The main movie. I'm sorry, but the general public expect cameos now. They expect the main characters.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing that Reeves and Pattinson have talked about for the future of the Reeves verse Batman. For Matt Reeves' Batman verse, he's talked about, and he talked about this with Pattinson in an article that was out like a month and a half or so ago. They're talking about adapting the Death in the Family storyline.
That's what I want to see.
For Reeves versus Batman. Okay, they're talking about bringing in Jason Todd as Robin and going through that whole Death in the Family storyline, which was a pivotal storyline for Batman in the 80s. So they're looking at doing some fan service, but they're also looking at the other structural things around it. And Anthony Beltray says in the chat that yeah, Batman's going to be in the Arkham show. I mentioned that. Yes, he's going to be a presence, but he's not going to be the big major be all and end all of that show. That show is about the Arkham family. That show is about Arkham Asylum. That show is going to be very much based on a one-shot trade paperback called Arkham: A Serious House on Serious Earth. Okay.
Yeah. Basically,
it's going to be. Go ahead.
Oh no! Finish what you're gonna say. I was gonna address William's comment, but go ahead.
It's going to focus more on Arkham Asylum and all of that, rather than just Batman in general.
I was gonna address
because
William's
Reeves understands.
Aiden.
Oh, you weren't done.
I know.
Hello. Aiden likes to push my buttons.
No, I was doing the same thing as you were.
I know, but I can do it.
Get it together, boys.
The thing about Reeves, and I just want to make this last point. I want to make this last point, and then I'll shut up for a bit. What Matt Reeves understands that a lot of the fans are interested in more than just Batman. Okay. Thanks, dude.
I think,
but like Fade, I just said my own name. Anyway, Matt Reeves understands the fans want to see more than just Batman. Okay, so he's going to incorporate a lot of the outer running things of Gotham, the Bat family, all of this. He's just taking his time to get there. You know, to tell the story of the Bat family, you have to tell Bruce Wayne's story. But to tell the story of Bruce Wayne, you've got to tell the story of Gotham. And that's the point that Matt Reeves is working towards.
Yeah, the Court of Owls, that's the focus. But Saggy, what was your point?
Well, I was going to say, William said in the chat earlier, fans think they drive the industry, but we don't. And it's like, yes, that's true, William. However, I think that the industry probably should maybe take in some of the fans' feedback a little bit.
It's a balance.
If that was the case, Batwoman would have made it to season 3. Okay,
well, look at the television Amico. You have to.
I am going to leave so fast.
Here's my thing, right?
You have to listen a little bit to your audience. You
right.
Can't be so stringent in either way. You can't not ignore them and cater everything they want.
Fans could probably save. So, how much money do you think they blew on Batwoman compared to how much they made? That show never should have made it past.
All right, I'm sorry. Caden has to go.
See you later, Caden.
What?
But yeah, no, Batwoman should have never made it. One, in my opinion, I think that show was always doomed to fail the moment they announced it. I thought that show would never stand on its own legs. Like having Batwoman cameos in the CW other TV shows worked for me. I thought it was great. I didn't mind the appearance, but having a standalone TV show focused on Batwoman from day one was not going to work for me. As soon as I heard they were doing it, I was like, nah, this show's gonna be trash. And then what was it? Trash. It should have made it.
And that's why it's been canceled now.
But that's what I'm saying. If they listened to the fans and was like, hey, we don't want a Batwoman, bro. Like, if you want to do a Batman or whatever, like, we don't need Batwoman. Like, no, we're good. Like, then maybe they would have saved themselves so much money and put that money into a better show for fans. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you're right. Fans don't run the industry, but fans should at least listen to the fans sometimes, because the fans will always tell you if your idea is going to flop or fly.
Well, can I just address William personally?
Sure, please do. Put him
about his hate for the 90s. You missed out on Ecstasy, William, I think. Because
I don't think he did.
You'd have had
I actually don't think he's missed out on anything.
He'd have had a much chill time
in
the 90s.
I don't know.
Everybody loved everything in the 90s.
I think we've heard stories of William. I don't know. Hey, RJ, how are you doing? This is the MME International.
Yeah, I know.
I just want to say, just in general, I can't say anything against William. I work with him, so.
No, I love William. I do love William. I mean, but
William,
I haven't said anything dirty yet, so don't worry, William. It'll come.
Oh, William, what's on the panel?
I love how RJ talks mad shit in the chat, and now you're here. You ain't got shit to say, RJ? Like, what's up?
Well, we also wanted to get to rambling. Anthony, you had other topics you wanted to talk about.
No, you go ahead. I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
Oh, you're enjoying it.
RJ was in the chat. RJ was in the chat talking shit. Like, Saggy's saying that she doesn't want more Batmans, like her not saying pizza. Of course you bring it to food number one with your fat ass. I went there. I went there. Yeah, low blow. I love I love every chunk of you though, by the way. But anyways, my point is, shut up. You know what I meant. Listen, my point is like I don't know why you talk shit. Like, yes, it's okay for people to get tired of a certain character always being drawn out. Always being drawn out.
No.
Oh God! What? William wants to smoke too. What's up, William? Why are you matching your wall?
Playing Valhalla. I'm done with y'all.
You have had
This
some
is a
horrible
floating
takes
head.
already today.
Listen, I'm familiar with all you guys on this channel. What is going on here?
What happened to the 90s?
Nothing happened to me in the 90s. Here's a problem. Here's a problem I have.
Wait a second, William.
His Barbie got
was the 90s one of your favorite decades?
Not for comic books.
The little bit I can remember of the 90s was great. Yeah.
Wow.
If you remember the 90s, you weren't.
Well, okay, William, I have to say this. One of my favorite X-Men storylines came from the 90s, and it's something we said we were going to talk about, and that's Age of Apocalypse. So not all of the 90s was horrible.
90% of it was, though, because here's a problem with there's two different comics that really got softened by the 90s, Batman and X-Men. If you read Batman or X-Men during the 80s, and then you saw the kind of things that they did in the 90s, it was almost like an affront, and they did it. And I hate to say it, these cartoons were a lot has a lot to do with it. The X-Men was never for kids. Neither was Batman. Batman from his inception was never for kids, and they spent decades during the Neil Adams rest in peace era and the Chris Claremont eras, basically correcting a lot of things. I mean, if you were reading X-Men and experiencing X-Men in the 80s, there's no way in hell you could ever stomach X-Men in the mid-90s as far as that cartoon goes. It was vomit.
Shut up, Max.
Wait, no. I got the answer to this, because here's the thing, William. The reason why these cartoons back in the day was the way they were is because, number one, they were catered to kids, and the only way they wanted to get on network television, the biggest networks for kids, and not only that, the biggest networks for cartoons was Fox and like WB at the time. Right?
I understand. That's a mistake.
Right, but I'm
William.
saying the 90s cartoons were meant to be for the kids.
Like
that's
I said,
why they had to softball it, because they couldn't
it's like
get
making
it aired.
porn for Disney Plus. It's like making porn.
William, two of the best. Two of the most brutal X-Men storylines were in the 90s. Age of Apocalypse and Fatal Attractions, where Wolverine was ripped apart by Magneto, basically.
Right.
Those were both in the 90s, middle 90s to be in fact. Those were good storylines.
In the 90s.
Those were good.
None of them touched Mutant Massacre. I mean, you see what I mean? The tone changed because the audience changed.
Age of Apocalypse did touch the Mutant Massacre. Age of Apocalypse was very dangerous.
X-Men got dark. X-Men did get dark, and also Batman was kind of dark. The 90s Batman was kind of dark. It was just you missed it. If you go back,
shout out to Hans, member for 7 months. I buy it for $1. Thank you, Hans.
If you go back to the 90s Batman cartoon, right? If you go back to the 90s Batman cartoon, there were dark undertones.
Bad Hans.
They masked it so it wasn't too obvious. But if you go back and watch that cartoon as an adult, a lot of those stories were dark as fuck. Joker literally pushed Harley Quinn out of a fucking window and almost killed that bitch. Like, if you go back and look at it, just because she didn't die.
Well, they tackled abuse. They tackled issues of drug abuse.
Right, they
drugs. They tackled so many dark subjects. I mean,
they tackled racism.
So many dark and adult, sophisticated things.
Stuff. Yes.
Even Mask of the Phantasm was a
I just got to interrupt y'all real quick.
Batman they released.
RJ, I just got to interrupt you real quick. Thank you, Max, and our international friends from Ramblin' and Anthony. Thanks for having me on. I've got to dip out. So
hey, new crew tonight.
No, don't leave, Dade.
Oh, suddenly you want me to stay?
Hey.
Dade is leaving because
new
here.
Are we going to new crew tonight?
Probably. It depends.
Okay.
You said that like I wanted you to leave. I never wanted you to leave. Who said that?
Oh, I'm joking, Zaggy. I'm joking.
Leaving because William came here. Once William came, Dave was like, "I'm out."
No, Dark Phoenix. I just finished that last night. That was a harder watch. There's some cool.
Actually, no. William's my buddy. William and I agree on a whole lot when it comes to comics. We just have differences of opinion, especially when the '90s come along. I will say though that
era for everything but comic book storytelling for me. Music.
Well, just for William, in agreement with William, the Claremont run on X-Men was my favorite run on the X-Men. So I'm a big 80s X-Men guy. I just happen to like a couple of the storylines in the 90s, and don't get me started on everything up until Hickman took over. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and dip out. Love you guys. Thanks for having me on. Taggy, I will try to hang out longer with you next time I'm around with you. Brodan, I will talk to you later about whether we do New Crew tonight.
Okay.
Everybody, good talking to y'all. I got to go. Bye.
I have a question for William.
On that note, I must go too. I got things to do, and I got Hammer to play with. Wow, hey, Anthony, watch out for the Sasquatches. Nice to meet you, Rambling Man. Again, watch out for the Sasquatches in your area. They are very, very horny. So I am out.
Why is everyone leaving me?
Max, just one last thing. Thank you, man. I don't mind. I wouldn't mind coming on more of your shows. You guys be good, all right? Be safe. Everybody likes to see y'all again, so please be safe in everything you do.
Bye, thanks.
Bye.
You're about to ask you something.
I want to ask you something about what happened to you in the 90s.
Nothing happened to me in the 90s.
No. Did you have like the best girlfriend ever?
Whoa.
And then like she break up with you on New Year's Day.
I opened my store in late 94, and I had been collecting since my entire life. So you got to realize a lot of these things that you guys are talking about, that you guys grew up with, some of it is the first thing that you ever saw. I saw the source material, and like I said, the stuff that happened in the 90s was a distortion of that. Batman wasn't for kids. Neither was X-Men.
I want to know what demonic Furby you own that made you like hate the 90s. Like, what demonic Furby was it?
90s. I only hated comic book storytelling in the 90s because of these cartoons. They thought that, you know what, this was the way to go. This was the way to go. Let's soften things up.
Well, they revolutionized storytelling in a lot of ways, though.
You
have to look at they were landmark series.
But William, you also have to remember that like comic books in the 90s, like with adults, it was like, I won't say frowned upon, but it was like people like they wanted to make these stories, and like a lot of kids like the stories just as much as adults. So like the kids more so, they wanted to make money off the toys and marketing, so they had to go that route to target the kids with these stories. They had to soften it up because they needed to make money. And to be honest, if it wasn't for them making money off of the kids' sales with the toys and shit, they wouldn't have been able to continue making these comics the way they were. Because I guarantee you, they made more money from the kids.
That's actually not true, because here's the thing, Saggy. Marvel was near bankrupt in this era. This was the era that nearly bankrupt Marvel, right? This from 1992 to 1999.
And that's why they sold X-Men.
No, that's what it saved Marvel was they sold Spider-Man.
But they also sold X-Men. They sold X-Men and Spider-Man. So
but Spider-Man was the big one. Spider-Man was the
Someone
big one.
could send the link to Bomber.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like X-Men, the X-Men 90s cartoon and the Spider-Man 90s cartoon were really big performers. And that they sold X-Men and Spider-Man. And like,
after that era.
Why is this even a discussion? William, I grew up with Adam West. I grew up with Saturday morning superhero cartoons. How much of a distortion do you think they were away from
bad,
the sort of
really
material?
bad?
Right,
really
yeah,
bad.
but
here's the thing about the Adam West.
But that's what got me into these things in the first place.
Here's the thing about
I didn't pick up a comic. I watched Batman and went, hey, I want to know a bit more about this. I went and bought the comics, etc., etc. You can't. The source material. If you just want something that's always going to be the source material, read the comics.
But see, that's not how we've made movies that are closer to the source material. The Batman is closer to the source material. Hell, even Keaton's Batman was closer, so it can be done. I don't mind other stuff being out there. It's the problem when that drives a train, because you can't get back and you end up going through these dark eras. And Batman was the same thing. Batman took an entire 15 to 20 years to recover from the Adam West era, even though that was probably my era too. I probably grew up in the same era as you did. That didn't really generate things for the comic books. In comic books, what resurrected Batman was 1986. And from 1986 to 1990 was where Batman sales jumped, and it became the kind of cultural icon that Bob Kane pretty much intended it to be. It wasn't a joke anymore. And that's what allowed for Batman 89 to happen. That's what allowed for a lot of other things to happen. Now, the cartoon, like I said, when it comes to these cartoons, it's once you gear it like that, a lot of other story elements were affected. If you look at the comics of the way Batman was written in the 90s, a lot of that was affected by the things that happened during the 90s and the animated era.
Okay, so how did that long-term affect Batman then? If you're saying 90s Batman, you know, you're not a big fan, and you know, and it was on this train, 90s Batman. So how did it affect it long-term?
Storytelling, it still affects it to this day almost. It really is brought back before as a Black Label.
But how? We've just got the Batman story that most Batman fans wanted, Detective Batman.
How long did that take?
So what about the Nolan movies? You're not into the Nolan movies at all, no?
Well, okay, so we're going back to 2005. So we're going.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying. You're saying the 90s affected it, but we still got the Nolan movies out of it, didn't we? We still got the Batman out of it. So I don't see how it affected it adversely at all.
I guess it would be from a different point of view because I think it affected it reversely big time. I think the narrative of the stories changed. Like I said, if you read Batman on a constant level, like I do on a monthly, weekly basis.
So which version of Batman do you prefer? Do you prefer the Keaton Batman or do you prefer the Bale Batman?
Keaton.
Neither. To be honest with you.
No. I hated Christian Bale's Batman.
For me, see, realize you're talking to somebody. I'm not talking like a general fan.
Where is she? I gotta take a shit.
I'm okay with both. My preference was the Affleck Batman because it represents an era that I thought brought Batman back to center, which was the Dark Knight Returns era. Before that, you couldn't give away Batman comics. Literally, they were yard sale level.
William, where is the bathroom? I gotta take a big bat load. Yeah, where is the toilet?
I've learned to mute you out in my brain.
Why did you say that name?
Where is he?
Where is the toilet?
The time you were serving, William, comics that you guys were getting while you were over there in the Middle East, were you getting like these comics?
Yeah, I've been Batman collector since '83.
Yeah, that's awesome. See, like there'd be obviously ebbs and flows of like the certain like the comics that were popular in that era, and then like when you've got the animated series and the movies coming out, people liking different things, the dark elements, and like you know going into the Batman films where like the first two obviously were dark, and then you're going into like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. They were a bit silly, but like still, you know, they had the good points. But the comics, you know, have always been good. You know, you'd see that. You know, they're still, you know, very popular even today.
Obama maybe is on the.
Hello, good evening.
You do realize all the trolls will come on now, don't you? Bob's on.
I've never seen so many trolls bombing me.
Yeah,
oh my god!
You didn't see Bob's fan club earlier on.
Nah, yeah.
What did you do now? What did you do now?
I don't know.
What did you do last night, Bob? That's what people want to know. What did you say last night that you privated all those videos? What did you say about Max and Saggy? Because you've been fine with me. What did you say about them?
I said nothing. I said nothing, mate. Yeah.
I remember what you said.
No, I apparently I streamed for like over 4 hours, and it got like I don't remember the last hour or two.
What were you drunk?
Yeah, I drank a whole bottle of vodka.
Wow, vodka? What the hell? Why not whiskey?
Sorry.
Whiskey, not vodka.
He's still recovering. Take it slow, Sag.
Why piss water? Piss water.
Oh no, it was mango and passion fruit vodka, so it's tasty.
Did you mix it or did you drink it straight?
Mixed it.
What'd you mix it with?
I had a Monster Punch and some Pepsi Max.
Okay.
Now, Bob, have you watched back some of your stream to kind of refresh your memory?
No, not yet. I'm too scared.
Wait, is the stream still up?
No, it's private.
No, he's taking it down.
Oh, why? I wanted to see it.
So he's going to send me a link, so I'll send it to you, Slaggy.
I want to see what happened. I never seen you turned up. It's going to be great.
I want to see what happened too.
You know what's funny is I don't know if Max has a clip, but he was on Enosh's stream one night and he was like drunk. Like you watched him
I only
sober.
had 2 drinks.
Yeah, you are a light drinker.
2 drinks max.
Yeah, he's a lightweight, but his drinks are strong. So he was drinking, and you could gradually see him get drunk on stream to the point like he kept getting close to the camera with his eyes all wide. We're like, Max, what are you doing? He was gone. We're like, all right, Max needs to get off the stream. It was funny.
What's happened to your resident drunk, Max?
It doesn't come around anymore.
I know he doesn't.
You have a resident drunk.
He was good. He was good fun.
We've had some
Well,
interesting people on the lounge where like you actually hear people either snoring. We've even had to leave their webcam on and walk. We all think, oh, we're going to get the butt crack.
Oh, who did that? Who did that? That was
That was oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, he left, and Enosh kept the camera on his chair as.
What's his name?
Oh, Joe, Crazy Joe.
No, it was Crazy Joe. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he came back and like mooned us all.
See, Bob, the chat is now interested in what was on your stream, so you really are going to have to put it back up, mate.
Oh, let me review it first. I got.
That's bullshit, Bob. Just put it back.
I farted on Enosh's stream once. So
you did.
I did. I made a video. It was
and
great.
Denied it. Vehemently denied it.
I didn't deny it. I just laughed my ass off while everyone else was denying it. Everyone else denied it, and I was the only one laughing my ass off because I knew it was me. And I was like, "Oh wow, my mic picked that up good."
Don't worry, Saggy. That was a unicorn fart.
Yeah.
It was a very feminine fart, but it was funny. It's like, I laughed. I said, no, that didn't. And then as soon as I realized people heard it, I was like, no.
And we blamed on Krypton's core.
Yeah.
But what made it funny? What made it funny? Everybody denied it, but you. So they were just so hyper into denying it that the whole attention got took away from you onto the 2 guys that were denying it. So you got away with it scot-free. If you hadn't made a video the next day. I farted on stream. Nobody would have known any different.
I had to though. It was too funny not to make a video about it because I was like, that just happened. I was like, I didn't even realize it. It just kind of like crept out.
And people say you're only there. People only say you're there for drama streams. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't see that.
You made a whole video about you farting on a stream, and people just don't see the quality of your. You know what is there? Well, like I said earlier, what is there not to love, Saggy? What is there not to love?
Yeah, I'm pretty all over the place.
And did you remember how recently there was that girl selling her farts, and then she had to stop doing it?
Right. Oh God! Here comes the
I think you found a new market.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Here comes.
I don't even have Snapchat.
Here comes.
You do, Bob. There he comes. He's back, Bob. He's back. You're
my number 1 fan. Thank you.
Your number 1 fan is back, Bob. So
I got him.
Sorry.
Would have increased it by tenfold.
People got nothing better to do. It's amazing.
On a Saturday afternoon, what the hell's going on here?
Well, I have to say, this MME international team gets better. Look at this, 48 thumbs up. Wow,
hell yeah!
Right,
that's better than my show, Ramblin' and Anthony.
Oh well, you lead a great team, so like.
Well, you guys take credit for this. I just did a random topic. People really like to talk about this X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been moving away from. I think because people always ask me like, "What happened to you talking about movies and stuff?" Like, you know what? I like talking about it on other people's streams where I can have actually, a conversation and it's not always about a drama thing. And I'll just keep the drama on my channel. And when I'm on other people's streams, I'm just here relaxing.
We also touch on the news as well a bit here. Like last couple streams that we've done, they've talked lightly about like the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial.
Oh, don't get Saggy started on that.
They're both as bad as each other.
Fuck Amber Heard. Sorry.
Hey!
The absolute shit show her lawyer is running at the moment. Because
that's awful.
Yeah, he objected to himself. So like, that says it all.
Yeah, when you object to your own question, that's a problem.
And can I just say, I was saying to Ramblin' before that it's so hilarious watching people put clips together of like the most funniest parts of their hearings, and like you see Johnny having a bit of a laugh, you know, at the lawyer's expense, trying to nail him every time, you know, and like especially when they brought up Amber Heard putting a turd in the bed, and it's been a disaster. And there's 3 weeks more of this.
Yeah. So
and
anyway,
she hasn't even been on. She hasn't even given testimony yet. Like she hasn't been.
Max still thinks
another one
that nobody will get a job after this. I 2 weeks ago I would agree with you, Max. I would have thought people aren't going to come out of this smelling of roses, especially not after crapping
Johnny
in the bed.
Will come out of
Well, I think Johnny has come out of this amazingly well. I really do. I think he'll come out of this.
Yeah,
really
I don't know. He's
I do.
I like Johnny Depp, but he admits a lot of lying and stuff. I'm not judging him based on
he admitted to being human. Oh dear, no. No.
Listen,
we can't have an actor being human now, can we?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in the industry. That's all.
Yeah, but especially his witnesses, especially his testimony, where he at least got to tell them that he hadn't really had a chance to really give his point of view until this hearing, and because London was a bit of a whitewash, and so he got to tell them straight, I didn't abuse Amber. I didn't do a lot of the things that was made up about me. And like he got his actual chance to say something. And so when she goes up for her cross-examination, that's going to be real contentious, real interesting. I think she's going to sink herself.
Yes, I do have to get going, but before I go, I am going to get sappy for a moment. I want to say that I am so happy. You don't got to highlight me for this. This is very weird. I do want to say, like, I'm very happy that through a certain community on a divisive topic that, like, the Rambling Man, Barmany, and a lot of people have come together that, like, I never thought I'd see the day where we'd all be here talking about movies and stuff that isn't about a video game console, you know, and I actually really do appreciate. I'm so happy that the Rambling Man is here on Mad Max's channel doing a show here. I never thought I'd see the day that we would all kind of get together like this. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to see all of you guys growing. I'm happy to see Barmany growing. Every time I see him post that he's got new subs, like, I'm happy to see it. And I wish you guys nothing but the success. And as I get bigger, trust me, you guys are all coming with me. So never forget that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Saggy.
Thank you, Saggy.
All right. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. You guys enjoy the rest of the stream. Bye.
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 And your troll's back again.
Yay. Thanks for the comments and thanks for boosting the analytics for our friend Max.
And we're looking forward. We're looking forward to Rambling Man's review of Domini's stream from last night.
It's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen.
This guy's
my god.
William. He's a bit of a lush. You got to watch.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, he won't show his face. You're one of those people who never show your face.
Hey, I don't show mine.
No, it's an in joke. Bob does show his face.
Yeah, he's getting desperate now. This guy.
Yeah.
Well, you did want to talk about this, guys, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I've only got about 10-15 minutes, man.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so let's be a final topic here.
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home director John Watts no longer direct MCU's Fantastic Four. I was really looking forward to that, but
I don't think it's all doom and gloom though. There's different theories that John Krasinski has been tapped to possibly take over directing duties. It's a theory. Even John Campion put out that theory, but it also sets up him having a chance to have a bit of a break before he jumps into the next Spider-Man film with Tom Holland and Zendaya.
All right.
I don't think it's a good look that he's dropping out so early on in the process. But
it's better than filming and have like Fast 10 in the director leaving the first day of filming and it cost $1 million a day.
Yeah. These stories are going to be what they are. I mean, yeah, you have your director that adds his imprint on it, but the narrative, whatever the story that they were going to tell, is not much is going to change to the point. as far as like who directs it. I mean, I'm not going to go out and get some, C-level directors, though. I'm pretty sure that he's going to go out and get somebody who's very capable. But when it comes to this overarching story, that's a piece of a much larger puzzle. These stories are what they are for the most part. It's the next guy is going to say, "Hey, here's your assignment," and you execute it, and that's pretty much what it's going to be.
What I'm scared of is they will go back into their shell a little bit with it and be very safe, because the whole Josh Trank thing just did not work. Getting somebody who's a bit indie, a little bit edgy, that clearly didn't work.
Well, they got Zoe Child. I mean, look at Eternals. A lot of that's going to be fans too, because like I said, they're up against themselves, and I think they know this. They fed people a diet of certain types of storytelling movies for 14 years, and now they're branching out and doing different things and doing long form storytelling. And I don't think their fans are ready for that yet. I think they will be, because Eternals was not a standalone type of thing. What they introduced in Eternals is probably going to resonate throughout the next 5 or 10 years, but that's not how they told their stories for the most part. Even you had a complete Infinity Saga, each of the movies was a home run knockout punch for them, each way they told it. With these stories that they're telling now, they're giving you bits, pieces, and things everywhere around, so that you have to basically think 5-6 years in the future. So I think that's going to be something that they're risking, but I think it's the right path. So
do you have any candidates that you throw out there for taking over the director spot?
Well, I'll say the same. I'll say the same name that I always say, because I just want to see him do a Marvel movie, and that's Edgar Wright, because he got so close. He got so close with Ant-Man. He developed that until it was ready to go, and then for one reason.
Remember why he left though? So didn't he leave because of
creative? Well, he said he's willing to come back to Marvel, and he said that he talked to Feige. He's willing to come back.
Yeah, so. That's why he left, because he didn't want Ant-Man at that time.
He didn't want it to be involved.
He didn't want it to be interconnected for the first couple of movies. He wanted it to be his own thing for 2 movies, and then Marvel to do whatever they wanted with it. But obviously, they wanted Ant-Man to go straight into the Avengers movies, etc. So that's why he left. But I don't think he left on particularly bad terms.
No, he left on good terms. But my question isn't that situation going to arise no matter what? If you're doing a movie like this, you might run into that again.
He may well have come to terms with it. He may well have come to terms with it. I mean, I know he's doing another comic book adaptation. The guy who did, I can't remember what it is now, but he's doing another comic.
With
that's
Blake
right.
Lively. Blake Lively's direction.
With Blake Lively. That's exactly right. So he's still into he's still heavily into comics. He's still heavily into all that kind of stuff. He knows a absolute ton of stuff about it. He's a complete nerd geek, and I'd love to see him do a Marvel movie. Maybe not that one, but one day I'd love it.
Yeah, I would like to see Edgar come back and do a movie with Feige.
Yeah.
Well, Senior Nerd, different tiers of membership. Buy that for $1 helps people feel included, but Sword of Power, you get like carte blanche, producer level. You can recommend content, guests, that type of thing. And then we do have member streams on Sunday. And although people haven't been really taking advantage of it yet, I post a members mailbag for each show daily, where you could post the topic, or except for Ramble Man.
I do it. I do it all the time.
Yeah. Does anyone think that?
Go ahead.
Oh God.
No, I was done.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, does anyone think that they'll turn to Sam Raimi and go, "Would you like to direct Fantastic Four?"
Well, no, he wants to. He's come out and said he wants to do Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire now, hasn't he? There was a recent
interview that he has a plan if they would allow it. He knows kind of like what he wants to do if he could do it.
Okay.
His words were, does Toby want to do it? Is there an emotional arc? Is there great conflict for him? Is there a worthy villain that fits into the theme? If those questions could be answered, then I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because they could definitely do a lot of things with Toby. They could even do his daughter, the storyline with his daughter.
Mayday,
yeah.
And let's go through these every show coming up. Tell if the interest is if the interest is there for you on the panel, Ramblin' and Anthony. These are all the shows. Oh, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Major hype. No interest.
Miss Marvel, anyone?
Not really.
I'm probably the only one that's kind of looking forward to it.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it because of like the whole idea of like this new side of the MCU.
Oh, Senor Nerd has become a YouTube member. Thank you, Senor Nerd. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Oh yeah.
I'm really not looking forward to this. Even though I like everybody involved with it. I don't know.
Oh, really?
It's just I don't know. It's just time to move on. He's the only original one left. I don't know. There's so many other stories I want to see first before I see another Thor movie. But that's just me.
All right, but what about Valkyrie and Jane Foster as the Mighty Thor?
I'm looking forward to seeing that. Like, to seeing Natalie Portman. She really put in the work apparently for this. So,
not for me.
Oh. All right, and yeah, really appreciate you supporting the show, Senor. That's great. What about this, Ramblin' and the rest of the panel, Anthony? For what's this called?
Werewolf by Night.
Yeah. Any interest?
I'm looking forward to this supernatural side of the MCU. Looking forward to it.
It's about time they did a bit more with that. I agree.
Yeah.
So, I forgot this was coming out this year. I didn't realize.
I'm looking forward to this.
Is this on your most anticipated anyone?
Nope.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Who said
no? And William is not looking forward to it.
No. I'll watch it. I'll go through the motions, but I'm really disappointed in their decision making and their approach to this. I go to see Black Panther for the core character of Black Panther. I thought they should have recasted the character, even if they needed to take some time off. If they needed to take time off for people to get over, the passing of him. I did not like the direction that they're taking, and it's going to be hard to watch because for me, T'Challa is the core of any story that you're telling with Wakanda or Black Panther. I know people are going to have a different opinion about it, but I do not like the reason why they went this direction. It's really hard for me to get amped up and excited for this. I would have rather waited and had them recast the character and go forward that way. Now you're telling a story without the king. And I don't know if I'm on board for that.
What do you think, Ramblin' Man? What do you think of Williams' commentary?
No, well, that is a very valid argument. I can see where he's going with that. I'm personally still excited for it. I can see his point of view. There's definitely a point of view I'm sympathetic and empathetic towards, but I'm still excited to see where it goes.
Anthony?
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I'm looking forward to what they do and how they reveal the transition going forward.
Okay, Caden Bombery.
I'm looking forward to Wakanda Forever. I'm looking forward to seeing new things being introduced. Like, the thing when I'm looking forward to with Marvel projects, I always look forward to what they do with the story and how it makes the MCU larger. So that's really what I look forward to in these projects.
Yeah, definitely very interested in this one for sure.
All right, cool. I understand your concerns, William, but I'm actually more intrigued to see how they're going to handle it. I also really trust the director.
I'm not saying it's not going to be a quality movie, but here's the thing: the first part of no matter whether it's a paper medium, theatrical, the first priority is your story, your original story. And if you had no plans on changing the trajectory of your story prior to Chadwick Boseman dying, then the story's not about Chadwick Boseman. It's about T'Challa. It's about the Black Panther. He was an asset to tell that story. He was not the story. The actor is not the story. And the problem is they have never done this before. They always put their story out and they stuck to their story. And for me, this is alien for me, for them to change their story for something that has nothing to do with the story. So I just don't like the precedent it sets.
All right. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Any love there? No?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
No?
Holiday specials are notoriously not great, are they?
That's in the past, though. That's in the past. Anthony, a holiday special?
I think it'd be funny, but no, not really.
I'll watch it, but I'm not looking forward to it.
We'll have to get through these fast because Rambling Man's got to end.
I've got to go in like 5 minutes. So you got another 22
we'll
slides.
We'll have to go quick. Just
no. You carry on when I'm gone. I mean, I've just got real.
Well, I have some errands to run as well. So okay, She-Hulk. Yeah,
hype.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Really,
super hyped for She-Hulk.
William. I don't know.
She-Hulk, I am. Tatiana Maslany is actually one of the best actors of her generation. If you haven't had a chance to watch Orphan Black,
oh my god,
watch that show and you'll understand.
Quantumania. I need love for
Ant-Man
and the Wasp.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
I gotta rewatch the second.
Can't wait for Kang and MODOK.
Yeah. All right. Guardians 3.
Yep. Adam Warlock and High Evolutionary.
Can't wait for Adam.
William's got to know.
Well, I hope it's better than 2. I loved 1. 2, I was disappointed with, so I hope it gets back closer to 1. I'll go see it.
The Marvels. Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for some Marvels.
Ramblin'. Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Okay.
It's new creative team, so I'm looking forward to what Nia DaCosta does.
Marie, are you a Marvels fan? Captain Marvel?
Not really. I don't like the Carol Danvers character in the MCU, really.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't translate well at all. No.
We already knew, William. We already did. Secret Invasion.
I'm really looking forward to Secret Invasion.
Yes.
If they do it good.
This is at the top of the list for anyone?
Yeah, it's at the top of my list. This is one of the best storylines they ever put out.
A big one. Could be a big one.
Live action Spider-Man. That's
Blade.
Yes.
Yeah. More supernatural.
I'll tell a lie. That is top of my list.
Deadpool 3.
Deadpool 3. Yes.
Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Super hyped.
I Am Groot.
I'm Groot.
Kids series in it.
It's a cute little thing.
That's on Disney Plus.
It's already worn thin on me after, after the first movie. I'm like, okay, I get it. And the second, or the second movie, I mean, I'm like, okay, we get it. All right, let's go through here. Armor Wars.
I'm looking forward to what they do with Armor Wars.
Very interested,
Intrigued.
I'll be honest. I love Don Cheadle, but as Rhodey, I'm not feeling it. I don't see a lot of passion behind the acting. I'm sorry.
I don't think he can support his own story. I think
that's why you're going to have like this. I think with Armor Wars, you're going to have Don Cheadle, Alton Goggins, and
Captain America,
Sam Rockwell.
I like the first Rhodey better. What was his name? The actor?
Terrence Howard. Yeah.
They did him,
but he wanted more money than RDJ. He wanted to be basically the number one on the cast list.
Well, that was before. Oh, go ahead, Ramblin'.
I'm gonna have to shoot, but I'm gonna nominate Bob as the Brit on the panel to represent the British angle in.
I'll do my best, chap.
Yeah, just don't drink. No more drinks for you.
All
right, guys. This has been the best one so far. Everybody's welcome back, Max. Give them links, whatever we need to do to get this panel back. It'd be great.
Have a great one.
Yeah, sure.
Include them in the DM group. Everything. Yeah?
I'll have to add, Caden, if you're available next Saturday, I'm going to be out of town because I need someone to help run it because I'm going to be. If you want to.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Okay, yeah. If you want to have a show next week, I could set up now, and then if you guys want to,
I'm away next weekend, but
okay.
I'm right after that.
Next week is free comic book day.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We'll work it out.
Work it out. Let me know. But enjoy the rest of your stream. I've got to go and pick my son up. So
okay. Thanks, Ram.
Real life issues. Thank you. Great. Thank you.
All right. I guess we'll just finish this out. Ironheart. Anyone looking forward to Ironheart?
I'm looking forward to Ironheart.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Pass.
Echo.
No.
I'm looking forward to Echo.
Is it only because of who else is going to be in the show, though?
No, it's because of her character. I'm looking forward to what they do with her character. I'm also because of the writers behind it as well. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to Echo. I like Echo in the comics. And
all right, cool. All right, we're getting close there. Wakanda series. I didn't know they were doing one.
Yeah, they're doing a series based off of Okoye, and the Midnight Angels.
Oh, cool. Did anyone else know that? Anthony, did you know about that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've heard faint whispers of it, but like I said, I tuned out after obviously the other stuff. This is interesting simply because this could go forward without the Black Panther, whereas the Black Panther 2 without the Black Panther is just not something I'm on board with. But this is something a little bit more I can ride because he wouldn't have to be in this show on a regular basis anyway.
All right. Captain America 4?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Loki season 2?
Hell yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What if season 2?
It depends on how Doctor Strange 2 goes for me.
This is at the bottom of my list.
What? I'm really looking forward to what they do with Agatha and the House of Harkness.
I'm not against it.
It's more supernatural, more witchcraft, and more.
Yeah.
So
I'd rather her be a character in WandaVision or another series.
I am looking forward to seeing Haley Atwell in costume as Captain Britain. Oh, Captain Carter.
Captain Carter. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got 4 days. 4 days from now, or 5 days from now.
Omri, are you seeing Doctor Strange to see that?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Yeah, I'm seeing it Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Animated series, Spider-Man freshman year.
Nope.
Marvel Zombies.
Intriguing.
Intrigue. Yeah.
Shang-Chi too. Really.
Yeah.
Intrigue.
One was great.
Yeah.
Okay.
One was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Echo Invasion. I think that's all we have for this week, everyone. Thank you, Anthony, William, Caden, Bombery.
Thank you for coming on and supporting the channel and the show today. It's been great conversation.
Yeah, people are interested in international movie talk. It's great. Thank you, Anthony. I also appreciate you keep trying to keep us on track with a big panel. You did a good job. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm just grateful everyone supported today. So thank you.
Yeah. I think I got to run some errands and I got another stream later tonight. So we'll head out, everyone. Thank you, Caden.
No problem.
Thank you, Caden.
Just don't push my buttons while I'm here, Caden.
No, I was trying to help you, but
I understand. Thank you.
I subscribe to your channel too, Bob.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, cool. So
don't bring the trolls though next time, Bob.
I'll try not to.
All right. Have a good day, everyone.
You
All right,
too.
man.
See you guys.
Bye.